We are back for a new week of Uniball Game Day Live. Dom, unfortunately, isn't with us for matters of a very wet variety. Absolute moist man. But we are here for Uniball. And obviously, you look outside today. It is snowing. It's a Christmas miracle. Do you know who it's not a Christmas miracle for? Uniball. We've had lots of cancellations today. It's been unbelievable. So there might only be a few games that we can actually talk about, but we will talk about them nonetheless. Now, first of all, the smart thing to do is let's go through the games that have been cancelled. So we can say why we're not getting any content on them. Here we go. Leeds Griffins versus Durham Saints in the Prem North called off. Edinburgh Predators, York Centurions called off. I'm not going to say weather because you know it's weather. Sheffield Sabres, Manchester Tyrants, Derby Braves, LJMU Fury. Northern One has got no games this week. The Bath Killer Bees and the Southampton Stags. Frozen Pitch, slightly different. And the MMU Eagles and the Edge Hill Vikings called off, as well as the Bradford Bears and the UClan Rams. Now, we've got a special one here for a cancellation. Winchester Silverbacks, UCL Emperors.
I love this one. Well, yeah. I need to caveat this one. I like Winchester Silverbacks. They're good lads. We had them on a live stream. So one of the guys, he's actually their social secretary now. One of the lads that plays for them, he's in his second or third year. Was a contestant on the Great British Bake Off a couple of years ago, Jamie.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. And he was quality on it. He was even on their Christmas special last year, I think. Lovely, really lovely guy. And he's actually a twin, which is crazy. He's got a brother that looks exactly like him. Big, tall, good-looking bloke.
That is what a twin is, Steve. So
not every twins are identical, Tebb. Sorry to burst your bubble on twinning. But so we had him on chatting to him, and the lads were like quality. You know, everyone was giving a bit of banter and stuff. So I've got a soft spot for this team, for this squad and these guys. But they've made another massive error in Britball fixture making this week, and so I think it was their first home game of the season this week. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. And it was due to be against, let me get the right team,
UCL Emperors.
The UCL Emperors. And I got a message in the inbox earlier saying the game's called off because there is a pitch booking conflict. So those of you that sort of remember this, 2 weeks ago, Winchester played last week. They had an away game, I think Brighton. 2 weeks ago, they had another away game. I can't remember who, but another away game. And they posted on Instagram saying, everyone's ready, yeah, we're pumped. And they all stood in the car park waiting for a bus to turn up that never turned up. So they took a 1-0 loss, walkover loss for it. And I think that's going to happen the same this week. I can't see Bucks being very amenable to a conflict booking schedule. We'll see, but they're potentially facing 4 deduction points this season from administrative off the field stuff, which is really, really embarrassing. And I feel, like I said, I've got a soft spot for this club. They're in their second year performing. Good group of lads. Really enjoyed chatting to them that time. But this is a shambles, right? I'm not defending that. It is. It's an omni. Well, it's a buy shambles at the moment. It's only two things, but yeah, I'm sure there's other things going on.
One more Winchester. Make it omni shambles.
Come on. But no, surely one more makes it a tri shambles.
Oh, well, okay. We'll do a couple more. More shambles.
Yeah, they need to do several.
I think you have to get to 5 shambles before it comes omni shambles.
Yeah. Well, no, surely is there not? Wouldn't you want to say octo shambles?
Octo.
Everyone loves Octo, don't they?
That sounds like a good name for a club, Octo Shambles.
That's probably the name of the club in Winchester.
Yeah, probably.
It's the sponsor.
Fucking Octo Shambles. Honestly, if they keep it up, I will call them the Winchester Octo Shambles if they keep it going.
Winchester Shamblebacks.
Shamblebacks. So
it's not good.
Speaking, let's talk some more shambles. Honestly, probably one of the best parts of the show. Bafra newsflash, ladies and gentlemen.
What is that? You've made it something it's never intended to be.
There's no dog shit. There's no dog shit on the pitch this week, but there is three. There are three people ejected this week. Akeem Davis, number 3 for the Sheffield Sabres. He was heard and admitted to offensive language to an opposing team in the Sheffield area. He is out this week for the Manchester Tyrants. Does it matter? No, game's cancelled anyway. And we had one.
So just to be clear, that will roll over. Like you don't just get that off. So
be nice, wouldn't it? And apparently
game's off. You're free to go.
And apparently there was a slight little punch up in the UE game as Alex Harrison and Arslan Ali were both fighting with each other. Both of them are out this week for their games. Oh no, sorry. Alex Harrison is out next week for their game against Swansea Titans, for the Pirates game against Swansea Titans. Well,
they both missed out playing the Swansea Titans just on different weeks.
What a shame.
Well, and just an update on that game. They called halftime early. There was 2 minutes left to go, and there was a very serious injury.
Was it?
Phones were out. Do you know what I mean? So I think they've called an ambulance. It was 38-0, so it had already entered into running clock. And I can just see now the teams they're not warming up, but they're back on the pitch and huddling. They're not. It's not a proper squad warm up yet, but hopefully that one will commence soon. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you there, Tebb.
No, it's absolutely fine. There's one thing that I think people need to understand about this game is it's so difficult to come back after a very long injury break, especially if you're on the team that is had the injured player. In my second year of playing for the University of Lincoln Colonials, our quarterback had to be air ambulanced off the pitch, and obviously that took a fair amount of time. Yeah.
Why did he have to be air? Was it like at the top of a mountain or something like that?
We were at Manchester Metropolitan, so we needed to get him somewhere where they discovered fire. No, I'm joking, Manchester. I don't really know. I know it was a neck and back thing.
Right. So they obviously couldn't move him, but then I don't know. It just seems like I'm trying to understand why there was, unless there was a massive urgency and time was a factor, and they had to just rush him there. But
I'll put it to this: whatever happened, it was
seems a waste of my taxpayers' money.
Honestly, it was.
That's not what I'm thinking.
Well, you say that we had to stand on the sideline while we got hit in the face with 3G pellets with a fucking helicopter kept landing right in the middle of the pitch, and then they were like, "Keep playing," and we're like, and this is why we're 30 points down at this point. I was like, "Why not just fuck it off? Why not just fuck it off?"
I was. Reminds me of years ago. The only time I've ever seen a helicopter for an injury or anything was I was driving to, I don't know, the east coast of England underneath London. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was that part of the world.
Yeah.
There was the Telegraph had a call centre there, and I was going to do some training for some people, and I was a little bit late, and I was gunning it down the motorway, and then a couple of police cars pull up right in front of my car, turn their lights on and stop all the traffic. Well, slowly, we go slowly slow down essentially. We get to this point and you can see on the right, there was a crash. I don't know, about 100 yards up from where we stopped. And I was like, I'm going to be here fucking hours. And then the next thing I know, there's fucking 2 helicopters come and land on our side of the road. And they then transfer the casualties into the helicopters and go. And I was already late, and I was thinking, that's it, I'm done. I'm there for 4 or 5 hours. They probably stopped less than 10 minutes. It was done quickly and gone again. But that's been my only experience. I didn't have to deal with any pellets to the face though.
So what we're hearing is that Manchester Metropolitan hit our quarterback so hard it was like a car crash. That's what I'm getting out of that.
Yeah. But it's dealt with very quickly. I think these guys are very efficient.
But luckily for Manchester Metropolitan, they've got very nice socks. So there you go. I've not got a lot of memories of Man. What they do is so the kit's blue and orange, and they all wear matching socks. We didn't. Our socks are yellow because it's blue and yellow like every Uniball team.
No, you know a lot more about the rules and regulations of the NFL than I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a thing recently about a player getting either $15,000 or $20,000 of fine in because he didn't have his jersey tucked in or something along those lines.
I think it might have been CD Lamb. He got fined more for having an untucked jersey than Aaron Rodgers got fined for not being vaccinated.
Is that true? I didn't know. I didn't even know it got that politicised after that. But I was just thinking about imagine just as a player getting told, "Well, you untuck your jersey." Surely it must have been warned a couple of times. There must have been something.
Yeah, I imagine that it would be.
Come on, Lemmy. Come on, Lemmy, tuck that in, mate. But it seems massively excessive.
Well, especially like that's not something you could enforce in Britball because I've seen there was the lineman. I won't name him, and his jersey, because obviously the jersey sizes are just whatever they've got. After one play on the line, his belly would be out.
Yeah, I've seen that with certain linemen. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
the Britball belly. That's what you got to call it. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just watching now. The lad, he's number 53 for the Swansea Titans. He's actually he's hobbling off. It's his right leg or right knee. He's got the medical staff with him. Gridiron Strong. Ellie from Gridiron Strong's helping him. No. That's the bloke.
Injury.
Yeah. To the Swansea. So Ellie Gridiron Strong work with the Bullets, but she's been running on and helping the Titans injuries because she's good as gold. So it look like they're getting ready to go again. But yeah, sorry. So what's the big deal with tucking your shirt in? And
I think it's just so that they can't grab it and tear it. I imagine that's what it is. That is
really?
That's the only thing I can think of because I
thought it was something to do with sponsorship or
it would be. There's no
making sure that, or they're worried that it's a slippery slope. If we allow this with this person, then we go into chaos. But
it probably is because they don't allow fun cleats. So,
do they not? They did surely. I remember a time where
you get basically. So whenever you see an NFL person,
they put nice Squid Games on their boots or whatever.
So they have to use those for practice, or they get fined. Because I remember, I think it was DeAndre Hopkins. He had Christmas boots, and he got fined. Then he was like, okay. He paid the fine, and I think he paid the amount of the fine into a charity as well. And he's like, I don't care. I'm wearing whatever I want on my feet.
And how much was? Is this are we talking a $20,000 fine here or something?
Oh yeah, I think it was maybe 15, something like that.
So $30,000 just to wear some shoes, some boots. They got more money than sense, mate. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Hey man, have you ever seen a nice pair of boots?
Yeah,
I would wear. Yeah, I'd just.
Would you spend $30,000 to wear?
Okay, I'll put it like this.
I'll put it a nice pair of shoes.
If someone out there hooks me up with the Back to the Future shoes that self-lace.
Oh, what the Nike Vape? Oh no, they're not vapors. Are
the Nike Air Mag.
That's it. Yeah.
If you link me,
you can't wear Air Mags, can you? You can't. That's not happening. You can't wear them on the field.
No, if someone doesn't cleat them first. Give me. I'm not just going to wear them straight up. But don't get wrong.
Self-fastening football boots would be decent, wouldn't they? Because when you've got your gloves on, it's always a pain in the ass. What's going on? Are you? Oh, sorry. Am I letting? No. I'm letting away the secret recipes.
Actually, Steve, if you're a lineman, they don't allow you to have laces. You just have Velcro. Unbelievable. That's not true. Right. Let's go over the scores that we do have for the games that have been played before we start talking about self-lacing boots. The Stirling Clansmen are currently being beaten 6-14 by the Leeds Beckett Carnegie. The Uwe Bullets 38, Swansea Titans 0. Loughborough continue their reign of dominance in the Midlands 1, as they are currently 20 over the Coventry Jets 0. The Bristol Barracuda currently loses to the Exeter Demons 3-0. The Portsmouth Destroyers 13, Surrey Stingers 0. The Teesside Cougars 0, and Edinburgh Napier Knights 38. And I believe, we got one more, or two more actually. What am I talking about? And Chichester Spitfires 0, OBU Panthers 21 in Southern 2, Anzines of the South Eastern 1, the Cambridge Pythons 0, the KCL Regents 20.
I need to interrupt. Oh, so you've done it. Well done. But I was just looking at we've got a Twitter feed that we pulled together through StreamYard, through Hootsuite. And I'm watching the stream over here for the Bullets game, and I was just like, oh look, they're back on the field now. They look like they're getting ready. And the Swansea Titans posted that the Bullets are 44-0 up. I've just realised my stream is behind, so I'm going to catch it up.
Thanks, Steve.
So the information I was given was correct, just out of time. But so it is 44-0 there in the third quarter. Yes.
I hope someone else was watching that and they're like, what the fuck is he on about? This
yeah. Well, they just thought we were on a massive delay. Yeah. And are you handling the banner updates?
Let me see if it works again.
If it doesn't, it's cool. I'll jump on and do it. Just give you some more airtime, valuable airtime. Where's Dom today? Anyway, I know. Obviously, I've had to step in for him, which I'm more than happy to do. Step back from the shadows. But what's he up? Do we know what he's up to? Has he gone to watch a game? Is it roast dinner? Is it Thanksgiving?
It's roasted as later in the day. Like honestly, like he goes from the stream to
his girlfriend's parents. Is it?
Yeah, his girlfriend's parents.
The man's got he's made in life, isn't he? He just knows what he wants and he gets it.
He's sacrificing all that for it. But look at his hairline though.
Yeah. Well, I can't argue. That's why I ain't got no hair anymore, mate. Well, I'm considerably older than him, so
exactly.
He doesn't know that. And one thing I don't know, and I wanted to ask you guys, was actually, we got a comment. We should really pay attention. Oh my God. Sam Waterhouse Morris. Yes. Sam Eye-watering House Morris. 76-0. Talk to me about the pride. Just I know we already know about them, right? But go on, give us your week 5 pride run.
So top of the rankings for the third week in a row. Unbelievable stuff. How about pride? You let someone else have it, for God's sake. Fucking hell, stop ruining it for everyone else.
What a scoreline.
That is not good for. But like it's just not a surprise to anyone at all.
No, completely predictable. But then also, it's like this had to happen because it wasn't fair to put them in the Prem.
Yes.
But like you're in a rock and a hard place, aren't you? Like, because the Prem is so exclusive, so difficult to make your way from Div 1 into the Prem because of literally it's 1 down and 1 up, isn't it? From the Prem. And you know, and the whole like playoff process is really tough for Div 1 teams to get back up. So it wouldn't have been fair. You know, they should be going through this fight, but you also knew that they were just going to steamroll every single team. And as I say that, UE running what seems to be like a 60-yard touchdown.
Honestly,
but
next season, if the Bullets can keep it up, Pride versus Bullets in the
and Nottingham, man.
I do like Nottingham.
They're all in Bristol, aren't they? All the best teams are in Bristol. Pride and the Bullets and Barracuda. I didn't mean that, by the way. Oh, I'm trying to find Edinburgh Napier because their game's now full time. I'm going to say them properly, even though you don't like them. It's the Edinburgh Napier Knights, and they have finished their game. against the Teesside Cougars, and they've won 46-0, and that's an away score for them. So they've travelled to Teesside and pulled the pants down of the Cougars. I've done that myself. No, I haven't. There was no innuendo meant there, but it's still very funny.
I just got it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've all travelled to Teesside and pulled some Cougars' pants down in our time, haven't we? Or to the side. Pulled them to the side. Anyway.
Or to the side.
Anyway, sorry, mate. I need to go back into the background, into the producer role. I can't be trusted on your live stream.
To be fair, it sounds like the Slate Cup guys at Pop World. Unbelievable stuff.
Right, I've got another final score. If you're willing to hear it, and that's that Loughborough have scored 34 points to Coventry's 2, and that's full time.
Honestly, even that safety is quite surprising for.
It was probably a special teams fuck up, like a high snap over his head out the back of the end zone.
Probably.
Well, the fact that they were punting would have been amazing. But so yeah, let me just update that on our little thing. What did I say? 34-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds right. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so that's that. We've got a couple of games already. I was expecting a lot of games being called off today, so sort of no surprise. But yeah, well, so what do you think, right? Based on I was going to say based on what you've seen, we haven't seen anything. Do you think Uwe Bullets would beat the Filton Pride, the SGS Filton Pride right now?
I think right now.
Yeah, right now. Like this season,
I
don't mean right now as in taking into account injuries. I just mean like both teams full strength going at it this season.
Good question.
Who wins? It's hard to tell, right? Because you chalk and cheese in terms of their opponents.
But that's it. It's like what you've got to consider is that like the Filton Pride they're not coming in there as it is their first season. They're not coming in there as first season people. They're coming in there as a strong unit with a strong coaching, and but then the Bullets have got all of those absolute playmakers. But I think this is probably I'm gonna get shouted at by the Bullets here. I think the Pride will probably have a bit too much sauce for them. I think the game planning specifically from the Pride.
Really?
I think the game planning specifically from the Pride would probably counteract it. Like I think that's one thing that. Isn't necessarily considered too much in Britball. It's just put your best players on the field and you'll win. No, I think like the Pride of sort of like they've got quite a good history in American football, and I think they'll be able to game plan properly to stop all the Bullets, assets.
Penetrating the armour.
Yeah, that's it. So well, I've got no reason to doubt the Pride at this point, but then I've also got no reason to doubt the Bullets.
No, that's it. And so what you've said is not incorrect about the Pride. They're fantastic. The Bullets they're stacked with American talent and talent that has played the sport like 10 years, 12 years. Like there are players that have played since they were little on that squad. Plus they've got some good like local talent like George Rhymes at linebacker. He's just unreal. He's a monster. Yeah, so I think I'd go with the Bullets this season. I think I would.
All right, well, how much? How much?
So we're gonna have to play like some sort of roll the dice game. Fantasy game, figure it out.
Fantasy game. So Ben Reed on the score thread. Apparently, Lancaster 46, Bangor 0.
I was just going to put that up, and then you said it. Who is it? Lancaster. I always struggle to find some of these teams.
Lancaster Bombers, Bangor Mud Dogs. Bangor
46-0.
Bangor had. My first week rankings, which started in week 3, for reasons that aren't your concern, viewers.
None of your business.
None of your business, viewers.
Stop asking.
Bangor they were my first team to improve, and they seems like they haven't. Also, we've got one just in now from Edmund Fea Bunme. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Destroyers Stingers called off at half time.
I was just about to say that. Where'd you get that from?
I'm too good at my job, my friend. Too good at my job.
It was 13-0. There you go.
13-0. So Portsmouth come away with the victory in the circumstances that I'm sure that they simply do not want. Never good, especially if it's a game ender.
Yeah, it's awful. Hopefully these lads that are having these injuries today, hopefully they're all right and, can walk around next week and there's nothing too bad going on. 56-0 UE versus Swansea now. They're just going for 2. They always go for 2, I've noticed, bullets. I suppose you would.
See, that's what we were talking about in the first week.
They got it.
That's what we were talking about in the first week. Like, can you rely on Uniball level kickers? Like, you have to have some real special people to rely on to kick. Luckily, as in, I can say in my Uniball career, my 3rd and 4th year, we had a guy called Craig Patrick, who was automatic.
What was his surname? No, go on.
I always full name people. I don't know why.
No, I just meant it sounds like he's got 2 first names.
Well, Craig Patrick, that is true. Yeah, he was automatic. Like, and that's exactly like that's just pure luck. But he did support the Bengals, so it's about half and half.
What do you make of? So are we? This is another question. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we can just do some score updates. So we've got the one on screen there. Another one I popped in, which came up. So OBU Panthers, 23 points up again. Well, no, they've scored 23 points against Chichester Spitfires. They've only managed 6. Chichester are at home, so there's a lot of away wins today, or away domination today. And then, as you've already said. No, you say the name of the second team that you can see on screen there.
What one?
The second team, the away team.
Bangor Mud Dogs.
Bangor, yeah. I always thought it was pronounced Banger because there's a joke. There's a joke like, I'm going to Bangor for the weekend. Like, that's the punchline, obviously. Like, I'm not going to say that. No. So I always thought,
you hardly know her,
because if you change that joke and said I'm going to Bangor for the weekend, it'd be like that makes sense. But maybe that's just because you are from a posh part of the world. I'm from scummy Portsmouth, so
honestly, don't people at work, because obviously now I live in Coventry for reasons that are still unknown to me.
You just ended up there.
Yeah.
What am I doing with myself? I'm packing the stuff.
I genuinely mean it. I look out my window every day and I'm like, why the fuck am I? And they were giving me grief because they were all saying, "Oh, glass" and all that. I'm like, please stop. Like, it's not. They can say it, they're making fun of me for saying glass. I'm like, well, why aren't you fucking getting?
Well, they say glass in Coventry.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think so either. It's weird, isn't it?
The plastic Northerners. Surely there's somewhere more north than Coventry that says glass. So let us know in the chat, guys. Let us know if you know somewhere more northern than Coventry that says glass. That's ridiculous.
I know, right? I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is Midlands, no?
Yeah. Yeah, they should sound like farmers or something.
Like, I think it's just because it's just near Birmingham, and I remember.
Yeah, the Brummie accents. Oh, well, the West Brom accent is unreal, mate.
Honestly, no, I was dating a girl for a while, and she was from Warsaw, which is deep in the heart of the Black Country. And I remember her mum's boyfriend was literally like pretty much like 2 foot in front of me or something. Couldn't understand a word he was saying. And they made fun of me for saying glass, and I'm like, well, why don't you fucking stop that?
Yeah, I don't get that from Coventry. They got no culture.
Actually, Steve, it's the City of Culture 2021.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed this week, right, I always look at one thing I like about Britball coverage, like getting involved with Britball and just Uniball in particular is and I've done it for like sort of 3 or 4 years now with Gridiron Hub to sort of know the teams and the results and stuff. there's always a lot more shade thrown at each, like publicly. In the senior league, like stuff gets said sometimes publicly, but it's mostly behind the scenes in group chats, and you get screenshots and all that. In Uniball, it's like the person that runs the social media account, like particularly Instagram, will throw shade at another team, so I'm always on the prowl for that stuff because I find it really funny and interesting. I think it's quite a nice part of the game. I don't mind a bit of banter, right? But this one, I thought it was. I don't know. I want to see what you think of it because this one's subtle, but I was like, this is utter disrespect. So what teams will do throughout the week is they'll post up what their week, the game is on Sunday or Saturday whenever they're playing, and then they will post it on Instagram, and they quite often will tag Gridiron Hub in it so that we reshare it, which we do. We put it on our stories. And I got one this week, and it was from Loughborough, and it was about their game against Coventry. And what they'd done is they'd put Coventry's logo upside down. And I just thought, that's a proper dig in the guts. Like, but I just want to run this by you, Tebbs. Like, does it sound like I'm just clutching at straws here and looking for something, or is that genuine like shithousery? And I'm going to try and find it. What
do you mean?
They put their logo upside down. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I just saw it. Right.
I sent you
I'm
one.
I'm going to share my screen. You sent me one that you got sent the other day.
Oh, look.
Where'd you send it? Ah, right. Yeah. Got it.
This was one for
Facebook's over here.
Was when Winchester had OBU.
Quality. Well, it's going to get worse now. They need to have a third button to it. Yeah. Right, hold on. Let me just share my screen and show you this one, and it probably helps that we get the screen up, right? Like, so this is subtle, right? But that logo's upside down, and I just thought, have they done that intentionally? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Have they intentionally tried to throw shade with this? Which I don't like. I don't mind. I'm not trying to say, they're terrible for doing this. But like, do you reckon they've done this on purpose, or they've tried to make it look like it's a mirror? Like it's like a water reflection type thing. That's the only defense I can think of.
Well, it's difficult to say what their intentions are. I mean, like,
should we see?
If I was on the Cov Jets and I saw that. If I was on the Cov Jets, I saw that, I would be like, "Nah, you can."
And I think another thing that doesn't help is that they put the word Coventry there. If the word Coventry was up here, you might have got away with it. Yeah. And if the word Coventry was upside down, you would have done. Let's see if they've done it for anyone else.
Yeah.
Or how they've done their other ones. Look. That's similar design. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but that's the Renegades when they played them.
Because I remember that we had some teams when we were playing for Lincoln who would spell our name wrong.
They've done it. They put it upside down. Because look, that's the same sort of post, right? That's their template, if you like. Sorry, go on. What were you saying about Lincoln?
I remember they spelt Lincoln wrong, which always annoyed us very much. Because instead of spelling it,
drop the second L.
Yes, we were always like, why don't you shut up? I honestly wish that I still had some of the memes that Hull Sharks made after they beat us in varsity, because there was about 40 of them and they were all really funny.
Quality. See, I love all that sort of stuff, man.
Now, I'm just saying that I think that basically Hull didn't face us for 2 years. But then they were planning something they were planning on doing something with our cheerleaders. They were talking about doing stuff with them. And then I was friends with one of the cheerleaders, and I basically just said, fucking Hull is shit. Hull are scum. Let's not talk about Hull. And then the next week, then one of the memes was like something about don't talk shit to your cheerleaders and then get beaten by Hull Sharks. And I was like, that's really funny if that's just based off me having a go at Hull Sharks to a friend of mine.
We've got another touchdown live in the UE game. It looks like another defensive one. So I've seen defensive and special teams touchdowns from the Bullets here since I've been watching. It looks like there's another player injured as well. Eddie's over there. Another Titans player. I'll have to come back to it. It looks like there's going to be a bit of a break. Oh, and they're just doing a replay. Ball's handed off to a running back. He just gets smashed. It's a safety. Hold on. The ref was doing an announcement, but he didn't do any hand signal to tell me what it was. They're not being hearing impaired friendly.
Unbelievable.
Which it's another thing to really dislike Baffer about. Yeah.
Good old Baffer. Whoa.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I wish they had more funny stuff on the newsflash this week, but it's all just like standard.
I like the one thing I've told you this, but I'm now going to say it live. My wife's bringing in my food. Hello.
Hi.
Do you want to come and say hello to everyone?
No.
Bye.
Oh, my name's Steve. I've got a wife and food. Boring.
Yeah.
I've got
we're only just married. We got married.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
The 11th on the 11th. So yeah. She likes it when I call her my wife.
What food you get?
I've got some Mexican. You know, it come in a Chinese bag. I don't know what the hell that's about. I've got like burritos and quesadillas and tacos. I know. It looks like I've got burritos. I don't know what I ordered, mate. I was preoccupied. But so play still stopped in that game. I'll keep you updated. I just want to see. Oh, Carnegie have posted again. They're still out in front. It's the end of the third quarter. They're 14-0 up against Sterling. Talk to me about Sterling, man. Like,
so
are they going to do a Sterling again this year?
No. So basically, as I said to Dom in an earlier episode, so Sterling obviously in the last season they lost their first 3, and then won their last 5, which kept them from being relegated. Now the thing is why I think it doesn't really matter for Sterling. I don't think they're going to get relegated, is because also in their division are the Leeds Griffins, and the Leeds Griffins are doing worse because Sterling have beaten them. So I think that Sterling aren't going to have a winning season this year. They're simply not. But they're lucky that they've got the cushion of the Leeds Griffins to fall back on. Like,
what was the score in that game?
I remember it wasn't specifically very. I can't remember if it was just I know that Griffin's got some points on the board. Great, but.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, is that a reversible score? Like, could Leeds in their second game against them outperform that scoreline? And then that's the only risk now, isn't it? Surely.
But then surely would that just come down to the point differential if they end it with 1 and 7?
That's what I'm saying.
No. So the answer is no, because it was 32-2 to the Klansmen.
Right.
Like,
Leeds are in all sorts of trouble.
You look at Leeds Griffins, like this season, they have scored 2 points all season, and it was in their game against the Klansmen. So as far as I'm concerned, if I was the Klansman, do you know what I'd do? Is I'd start taking some of those subs money, and I'd go out and I'd say, as soon as the end of the season hits, you go and buy Leeds Griffins a case of beer, a couple of cases of beer, send it down. because they are saving you from being relegated this year, just with how bad that they're doing. And it's sort of the same with the Durham Saints. Durham Saints have not won a game, and I don't think they're going to win a game. But once again, they have, like, Leeds Griffins are doing worse than both the Klansmen and Durham. But for Durham, they have not currently faced the Leeds Griffins, or it was supposed to happen today. So,
right. Do you think? Here's a question for you. Do you think that the Prem has got too few teams to, for it to cause this sort of issue, these sort of situations?
Well, I feel like you can't.
Really... if a team can lose 50% of their games but win the last 5. That's shit. That's not very good. Like, you have to turn it on.
I feel like it needs to be reviewed after this season, because realistically, this season is still an anomaly, because having a full year off means that obviously some of the players have left, and I'm sure that if Leeds Griffins and Durham and Sterling played last year, the result may be very different. But from what I can see, there is in the Prem North, there is a massive division between Nottingham Gold and Leeds Beckett, and then the rest of the squads.
Yeah,
that's it. There is simply a massive gulf. Like it might as well. Like I'm not like at this point is that I've got nothing to say about Leeds Beckett. The Leeds Beckett have played 3 games, and their point differential stands at -112, and they're in the Prem. Realistically, that shouldn't happen. But obviously, they've had a year off. People have left, so you've just got. If, as I said before, if you're Leeds, you've just got to bunker down and realise you're going back to Div 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
I find it like uninspiring. Like if I played for Sterling, and I knew, we just got to beat that other team once, and then we can go into the playoffs. I'll be there for that team, and I'll be there for the playoffs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't feel like. I mean, I know that's partly down to the short season, and they're just trying to formulate something this year. But the same was, pre-COVID. It was like there's 5 teams in the Prem, 1 team gets relegated, the other 4 are in the playoffs.
I do think that particular
that's ridiculous.
I think that aspect of the Prem is silly, because like especially like obviously this year. We'll keep talking about this year. Like, what is the point of the playoffs for the Prem North? There's one playoff game, as far as I'm concerned. That is Leeds Beckett versus Nottingham Gold. All you're really doing is risking players' injuries if you're going to put Klansman against Gold again, or Beckett against Durham again. Maybe not so much with Durham, because Durham aren't. I would say that like Sterling and Leeds are just. They are really struggling. I'd say Leeds Griffins are simply not cut out for the Prem this year. I'm not saying they were never ever cut out for the Prem this year. Sterling again, not bad, but they've obviously got a record of being able to come back halfway through the season, so that'll be interesting to watch. Durham, on the other hand, they are okay. Like, speaking of that, like this, like you look at this scoreline, that's not bad for Sterling. That is very doable for Sterling to come back from. But Leeds Beckett are just.
Well, you think they're going to come back this game?
No.
Where are they in the game? Oh, right.
No, but it's just interesting that, like, could it happen? Yes. It's not like, being having a point differential of -112 3 games in, and that's your point differential. Like, like you've just got to turn around to your players and be like, this is going to be a building season. If it's your last season, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to try and go out in a blaze of glory the best you can. Because I imagine that the Leeds varsity game is probably going to be against Leeds Beckett. So even that's stressful. Yeah. But even if you compare it to the South, realistically, there are 3 teams that are good. That are good. You've got the Bullets, the Cobras, and the Lions. Titans are sort of in there, while the Pirates aren't.
The Titans aren't in there. They're getting beat 60-0.
But they've had 1 win, but to be fair, that was against the Pirates. But basically, the Titans are in the same boat as the Klansmen, whilst the Pirates, I don't know. I don't think No, I think the Klansmen are cut above the Titans. I think they're better than them. But if you look in the the quote unquote,
you mean like circumstantially?
Okay, but if you look at the narrative here, it's the same thing. if the Titans, if the Titans weren't, no, sorry, no, it is different because there's bad teams. Like there's obviously something going off in
Your
Sterling.
phone's picking up.
Sorry, is that better?
Yeah. Just it was only quick.
Yeah. It is annoying that happens. Bloody microphones! I can't even do the future properly.
The swines.
But then, if you look at someone like Hertfordshire, in Div 1, they're doing great. Like you can see what that would probably be a bet. Like they very well could go up this year. Like, but then if you look at just the Div 1 standings, there's only a few teams that are like 3-0. In fact, there's only 2, and that's to absolutely no one's surprise, the SGS Pride.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Newcastle Raiders, who are doing very, very well.
Yeah, they're strong.
Well.
They're very strong.
And like realistically, like you can see now, I don't see either of those teams being beaten. You know, like Borders 1. I will say this now: I don't think is a very particularly strong division. I don't think the Northumbrian Mustangs have really got it. The York Centurions have been, again, great social media.
Let's check Borders 1. Yeah.
Oh, the York Centurions, great social media, but then that's about it. Same Hull Sharks again. Like, I have a begrudging respect for the Hull Sharks, but again, they're not picking up.
Why is that? Well, what's the story behind that?
They're our varsity opponent, and they mugged us off on.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't play us. You didn't play us until my 3rd year. Losers, and also get this. So the varsity game.
They were avoiding you.
Me specifically. Varsity, which got cancelled by COVID. We our game was scheduled to kick off at like 9 a.m. and it was like we had to leave really early. Basically, it was like you get the bus there at 5 a.m. or some shit, or 6 a.m. and then the bus from the club that takes you back to Lincoln was leaving at 3 a.m. and we were like, that day sounds absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Because that game, like, I'm not playing. Like the Colonials' first game of the season, 10 a.m. kickoff. Please grow up. Like I understand that it was a double booking, but 10 a.m. kickoffs, fucking take a day off. That is not me. That is not me at all. Oh, because I'm an idiot. I don't sleep before games. I'm a real idiot.
What?
I can't sleep. I get too excited.
Oh my god,
mate, I'm a big mark for American football. I genuinely can't sleep. It's awful. It's bad when I've got to drive the next day as well. I try to get as much sleep as I can. Mate, see, this is what I mean. Like, look at the Bullets score, 66-0 against Swansea Titans, and you look at SGS Pride, 76. Like, the Bullets may very well just turned around, seen the SGS Pride score, and went, "Oh, this is what we need to do." But yeah,
they're doing that against a Div 1 opponent, though.
Yeah, but it's still impressive to put that much points on a football team. Like, you're not sending out like a group of people who, you know, they did curling. Like SGS Pride's opponent, they were a football team and they beat them handily. But I just don't think Borders 1's very strong. Edinburgh Predators again, not great. They've got one win.
Yeah.
But Northumbrian Mustangs.
Just bringing it up actually. Let me just see. Well, yeah, I mean, you see the Sharks. It looks like the Newcastle Raiders are the only team in that league that actually score points.
Yeah,
more than 20 points a game.
That's it. I'm not, because this is my first year covering Uniball as a whole. There are a lot more low-scoring games than I thought there'd be. You know, like Hull are not. It sounds very silly to say this because obviously they're a losing side, so it should come as no surprise. Hull are not very good at scoring points, but then also they're quite good at not allowing their opponent to score points apart from their first game of the season against Edinburgh, which was 45-0.
45-0, yeah.
If you look at it, York Centurions, they let them score 0. They scored 8. Northumbrian Mustangs 2. Northumbrian Mustangs 10. Hull Sharks 2. So their defense is really good.
Yeah.
But, you know, That's how they feel. But then, comparably, you look at the Northern Division. You've got Hallam and Manchester.
Yeah. Yeah, both free scoring teams, aren't they? Like really powerful.
But for me, it's the same. It's sort of the same with the Midlands. Like, don't get me wrong, Nottingham Trent are a good team, but I think Loughborough are just simply a cut above. And I think when it comes to playoff time, Loughborough are going to be a problem. Now, as I said this before in my rankings, the Southeastern Division of Div 1, I think is very, very interesting. I think it's very, very interesting because all the teams, like the top 3 teams, have all traded wins and losses against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at Brunel, who have been... Their offense is obviously exceptionally high-powered. They've put up 2, I believe, 50 burgers this season. But...
No, isn't it just 1?
I think they've got one last... They got one. No, it's 2. They put up 50 against QMBL.
Oh, yeah, 50 and 58, against ARU.
They put up 2. But then if you look at the Brunel Imperial score, Brunel 0, Imperial 8.
8.
I don't understand how you can have that sort of
swing
to put up 50 and 58 and then lose by 8. But then you've got the QMBL who beat the Immortals. So that's why I like that. There's another one in Div 2 as well. It's Southern Tier 2. Is when I did my rankings this week, I couldn't really pick between the Oxford Lancers and the Brighton Panthers. I wouldn't be able to tell you that one team is better than the other team.
Yeah, that was a right pain in the ass because I had to create a special logo for it.
Yes, I know. I imagine that would be. I was expecting a message like you're first of all, you're a
wanker. Yeah.
First of all, you're a knobhead. But I genuinely couldn't differentiate them, and it wasn't just so I could squeeze Colonials into the rankings, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, I saw that in the bottom. It was.
No, it wasn't. All right, I genuinely couldn't separate them because.
Then they're tied at 3rd, and then you only get a 4th.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll do that next week. How about that? Also, shout out to the Lincoln Colonial player who didn't realise that I wrote it and said, and I quote, "I hope his dick gets caught in his zipper." While I was in the chat, and I'm like, well, first of all, mate, how about you shut up? To be fair, I did go along with.
Yeah, why are you still in the Lincoln Colonials chat group? Or is it like an alumni one?
No. I'm in this year's one as well.
Why?
Because I went there for a night out and they decided to put me in it. And it's funny, and I get to talk nonsense to 18-year-olds, which normally is an offence, but this time it's funny.
Well, I just got another score update to put up. Oh, where is it?
Is it Panthers KCL?
Oh.
Okay, well, don't worry about me. I'll keep talking. Like,
yeah, keep going.
Like as much as it's funny, me and Dom talk about Midlands Tier 2. I think that it is a good division.
Oh, don't. What? Don't try and sell me that shit.
No,
Dom may buy it.
What do you mean? Like, Nottingham Green are good. They lose to the Colonials? Yes, they certainly did. Oh, Candling can handle the pressure. Yes, they can. Not Screen. Staffordshire are
got another TD for the Bullets.
Staffordshire, obviously
72-0.
72.
Sorry,
Jesus.
72 at the moment. Oh no, there's a flag. Ignore me. Back to you in the studio, Tebbs.
So obviously Staffordshire in the first week, they put up the first 50 burger of the season, and it could have been Brunel. Yes, it could have done. But if I want to get you score updates, that's just how it works. Congratulations, Brunel. Staffordshire, first 50 burger of the season. Next week, get absolutely smoked by DMU, and I think that division is interesting. Like, our DMU just so good.
I like the fact that DMU. I know you don't like DMU, right? But
no, I hate
like.
DMU.
I was gutted that they because Tyler was the quarterback when they got promoted. I followed them relatively closely that year, and then they just got spanked their last full season and ended up back in Div 2 again. But it's good to see them doing so well and dominate. I want them to be a Div 1 team. Like a stable Div 1 team. That would be nice.
See, I am the exact opposite. I want them to stuck out, grow. I want them to first of all grow.
I want them to fold.
Okay, I don't want them to fold. That's just very rude.
Hilarious.
You should fold. Unbelievable. DM who? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. They just don't know.
But yeah, so that's why
I've got another TD to put your way. Give me a sec, mate. Sorry, go on. I am listening.
Which is why I don't intend to take any weeks off from this show, but there is one that I am going to take off because I want to go and see the Colonials versus DMU at home.
Actually, should we break the news of what we just discussed about this show?
Yeah, well, let's break the news. Well, eats
Sorry,
a burrito.
I'm still eating.
Do you want me to
do I have to do it? Do you want me to break it?
Oh, no, you're eating. Don't worry about it. So, obviously, with the Uniball show, if people have watched before, we don't get too many scores in. Obviously, it might be that the structure is not particularly built for Uniball and all the players are going to be playing and they don't have a dedicated social media person who stands on the sidelines doing the scores. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people who... But people who are going to come and watch Uniball games are probably going to be friends and family. They're not going to be too connected to the social media world of American football where we inhabit. So instead of doing a game day live, we're going to be taking the last word off of that. We're not going to be doing it.
No, we are going to be live. We're taking the first word off.
We're going to be live. Why don't you go back to eating your burrito, man?
Why don't you start saying stuff properly and wouldn't have to fucking jump in?
So basically, it's not going to be game day.
Tebb won't be around anyway.
I'm fired. I'm fired. Is the news? I'm fired. I'm not here anymore. So this show will be moving to Monday. So instead of it being on a game day, it's going to be post game. We're going to discuss the scores like that, and I feel like we can get a much wider view of Uniball during that. And it also means, ladies and gentlemen, that I enjoy doing the rankings, but now you get to hear them live, and it's not going to be me trying to type down stuff. I'm still going to type it up, but I'm going to discuss with people my rankings. Why? So if there's any teams,
that'll be good. That's a good little feature.
Specifically, any Scottish teams who've got a problem with them, they can talk to me in the comments about why they've got a problem, and I can very happily tell them why they're wrong.
With this software, they can even come on stream very easily.
They can come on stream and they can shout at me in Scottish words, and I don't, that's fine.
Scottish words or Scottish accents?
No, Scottish words.
Right.
Call me a tatty balm or whatever it is. I don't know.
I don't know either. I've been to Scotland.
No,
nice.
Honestly, I said this earlier. My ex-girlfriend's mum's boyfriend, black country, couldn't understand the word he was saying when he stood a couple feet away from me. My sister's boyfriend, exact same thing. He's one of the most lovely guy, he's probably the most Scottish person I've ever met. He was talking to me. We were sat at a table, couldn't understand a word. So if you're going to do that, that's fine. Bring some.
Can you just what's some of the characteristics of him being the most Scottish person you've ever met?
Well, no, because so basically, I woke up in the morning.
Did he wear a kilt?
No. He made me and my sister tatty scones, which are potato scones, and you put ketchup on them or something. And then there was another one as well that he made. I forget what it was.
See, I wouldn't say scone. I'll say scone. Did you say scone? You did.
Scone. Yeah, I say scone. Scone. And then, to be fair, this was my fault as well. It was about 11 a.m. We went out
full time in that game.
Which one? You with bullets?
Yeah, I don't understand the scoreline. No, it can't. They're saying it's 68-0, but there was just a touchdown. 72. There we go. It's updated.
There you go.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
So there you go. So there you go. The bullets. add on to their very impressive season by beating the Titans. Oh, this.
Stu Franklin's watching. Hey, Stu.
I think this is for you, mate.
Yeah. So I was also going to mention Stuart Franklin's name. So Stu was the head coach at the time. Every team needs a pirate. Tyler Arthur, DMU legend. Yeah, Tyler's awesome. Like, a lovely bloke too. Very knowledgeable. Just a sound geezer. Stuart Franklin, arguably, well, not even arguably, one of the best British produced quarterbacks ever. Played for, British teams, O's, Blitz, that I know about, the Coventry Jets. He was at. I played against him. He's extremely difficult to play against because he's one of the very few QBs in the UK that can read a defense. So you have to hide against him, and that makes it even more difficult. So, he's just. I've got a lot of time and respect for Stu Franklin. So, for an accolade from him, like the one he just posted for Tyler, let me just get it up on screen. That's a lot. For him to call a quarterback a legend, there's high praise there. So, I appreciate that, Stu. Anyway, sorry, go on.
I wonder if I ever played against him. Probably might have.
Hopefully, he injured you.
To be fair, Steve, if you know me, it takes a very, very light breeze
to
injure me. Yeah. So don't worry about it.
Just lobs a ball at your leg and gives you a dead leg or something. Just
mate, you know what I'm saying? Mate, Slate Cup, third. Oh, sorry. So would it be third down in the first drive? Someone just clipped my ankle with their cleat, and I'm like, this could be it. This genuinely could be my life.
This is how it ends for me.
This is how it ends. So I went off the pitch. So I was like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm fine. No, honestly, okay. The worst part is Steve.
Do I run towards the light? Do I
run? Just lie down. How it happened?
Yeah. I can see the light. Do I stay away from it or do I run towards it?
Well, that's why I'm so happy that I was actually managed to get. Actually, no. So all I've ever really wanted to do is just have a full season where I don't miss a game, and I thought I'd be able to get it with the Hughes Valley, but unfortunately, my boss decided it'd be fun to get COVID, so I had to isolate for one Cambridge at home, or Cambridge away. No, Cambridge.
So do you mean not through injury? You just mean through availability, or have you never completed a full season because you've been injured or unavailable? You've never completed a full season.
I've never dressed for a full season. I've always missed like one game in a season, either due to injury or due to something else.
What's your worst injury you've ever had?
Dislocated knee.
Kneecap or knee?
Kneecap.
I had that.
It's not great. It is not ideal. And the worst
part didn't bother me. I wanted to carry on playing.
No, actually.
No, fucking hell.
My problem wasn't with the dislocated kneecap. It was, I do love the NHS and all that stuff, but basically, they didn't diagnose it as a dislocated kneecap from the off. What they thought I did was tear my ACL and my PCL. And then it took I think it took like 3 weeks to get an MRI and then 2 weeks to get the results back. And obviously within that time frame, I wasn't using my left leg at all. So by the time it got round to actually them telling me you've not actually torn anything, you're very lucky, you've just dislocated your knee, basically the muscle in my left leg had atrophied away. So I just had to learn how to walk.
The little muscle that was there. Anyway.
Hey man, I got the only thing I've got is big legs. That is it. Big legs and big legs. How did it happen? Do you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't from football. It was from the other sport that I do, pro wrestling, where it's basically someone.
Oh yeah, so I completely forgot. I love this. So guys, don't be thrown by pro in pro wrestling. Explain that, because when he told me I do pro wrestling, I was like, oh shit, man, this guy's legit. And he is legit pro wrestler.
I do like. What do you mean? I do WWE wrestling.
Yeah, the problem is the name of it makes you think that you're professional. Makes people who are unaware of it think the sport is called pro wrestling.
Yeah. sport.
So you played a sport called sport. It is. It's a lot of theatrics, isn't it? It's actually quite funny.
Well, it's all theatrics.
What was your name again? What was your?
Oh, it was just Declan Tebbett.
Declan Tebbett. What didn't you have Didn't you have like a Declan the Bomber or?
Oh, the big boy.
The big boy, is that?
Yeah.
So how did you do it? Because that seems an odd sport. You know, a pantomime of a sport to get injured in.
Well,
how did that happen?
Like obviously it does hurt, and basically the best way to describe without going into specifics is basically someone just stamped on the back of my knee.
What while you were that like? So stamp meaning that you were laying down, I'm guessing.
No. So basically, I was basically in like a lunge position, so my legs were sort of like that. Because basically, when you have them in a headlock, that's how you stand. And then basically, there's a counter where you basically put your foot into the sort of crevice of their back of their knee, push down gently. They go down, and then you can reverse it. And I was training some new people, and
so it wasn't even like a live event or anything.
No, it was a training. And basically,
getting worse.
Instead of being like gentle with it, he just sort of stamped down on the back of my knee, and it just dislocated my left knee. Did
you squeal?
Yeah, I screamed. But the problem is that like in wrestling, like, so this is another one.
People can't tell whether you're joking, whether you're acting or not.
No, yes, but that's because when I wrestle, like I'll do a spot where someone gets me in a corner, they give me a chop, and then I scream because I can scream like a girl because my testicles haven't dropped. And everyone thought I was joking. And then they were all like, "Oh no, you've actually really injured yourself," because my legs swole up, and they're like, "Oh, you've actually really hurt yourself." I'm like, "Mm-hmm."
And they got an ambulance today?
No,
you?
No, they didn't.
You end up in hospital.
I did go to hospital. Best part is, I had to obviously call my parents to come and pick my car up and take me to the hospital, and my dad was annoyed because they just bought Chinese. Unbelievable stuff.
Good dad.
There you go.
I did mine in rugby actually, and it was in a game, and so I'd had the ball, and I smuggled it behind. Like we sort of went into a ruck. I smuggled it behind me to give it to the lad behind me. He, instead of like keep slugging it, he decided to try and run with it, but just sort of ran into me and fell over, and fell into the back of me. And I had like a guy head on with me trying to ruck. So basically there's this guy at my feet behind me. My leg gets caught underneath him, like my ankle, my foot get caught underneath him, and I start going back. And as I'm going back, the geezer in front of me punches me in the face. So I ended up on the floor like that, like, and my leg came out, and I was like, "Oh, my knee hurts," you know, like and this fat lip, and it was bleeding and throbbing. I've just been assaulted. Like, it was awful.
Yeah, my story's better, Steve. Don't kid yourself.
And then, what was funny, like the physio came on. She like ran on and was like, "Oh, yeah, like I don't know, sit up and put your knee back and forth." And then the head coach ran on, and I'd just started playing quite well for this team, and started as like scrum half, and the head coach was like, he knelt down next to me and like held my hand, and it was like I looked like like I was a dying patient at a hospital. Mate, rugby is full of like banter, right? Like, so I never heard the end of it. So the coach was called Dave, and I was then called Dave's little boy from that moment on.
Nice.
So yeah, not only did I get this injury that obviously hurt, and I ended up in a full leg cast, like from my hip to the end of my toes, full proper leg cast. I ended up getting called Dave's little, because he was like, and he was like holding the back of my head as well. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm all right. And the physio just went, "Oh yeah, I've put it back in." And I was like, "You've what? What have you done? What's it? What do you mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, your kneecap was out." And I was like, "Oh shit." So and I stayed at the game, watched the rest of the game. I tried to go back on, they wouldn't let me. I said to the ref, "No, it was a blood injury. It was a blood injury," and he was like, not having it. And then after the game, I got man of the match, and I had to stand on a stool and down a pint, and I did it. and then my leg collapsed underneath me and fell off this fucking stool in the middle of this bar. And and then in rugby, like I don't know if they do it now, but you had to wear trousers and a shirt and tie to games, and it killed me. That did. But by the time, the time I like fell over, like that was when they sort of started looking at my knee again. My leg was swollen that much that it filled my trouser leg. So it was fucking huge.
So I'll tell you what the worst part about my one was. So basically, I had work at 8:30, and I was at training until 8, and I wasn't going to go because I had work, and I was working in a cocktail bar, and it was a bank holiday weekend, and I had to call them up half an hour before and be like, "Yeah, I can't walk."
Yeah.
They were not impressed.
Yeah, I was working in a call center at the time, and I had obviously when I had my cast on, I was on double crutches, and the way they did my cast was that it was like hard 3 sides around my leg, and the top side of it was just soft because they're worried about further swelling, and they said like your cast isn't a full proper one, you need to be careful with it, sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, no worries. Anyway, I told work, and I was like, can I just have a couple of days off and all that? Like they were really pressuring me to come in. I was like, look, I need to at least have a couple of days off. So I had a couple of days off, went in, and we had like tower computers, right? So I just basically leant my foot on my leg was up on the tower computer, and it seemed all right. It wasn't that bad. It did swell up a bit more than it, because I was moving it around and stuff. But all that extra movement over like the course of the next week meant that the cast broke. So I had to go back and say to the hospital, like, oh, yeah, the cast broke. And they were like, oh, how did it break? You were supposed to sort of stay still. I was like, I know. I had to go back to work because otherwise I'd lost my job. And they told me off like I was a little school kid. Like, like they were like a head teacher telling off a kid that smashed a window. Do you know what I mean? I was like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do. Can you please fix the cast? Like, are you going to fix it? Like, it was. I don't know if you've ever had that, but I've found that over the years they're a lot less nice to me when I've gone to hospital for a sporting injury.
Yeah, they don't.
But even worse so when I go back and then say, I didn't do the thing you told me to. Can you redo my cast? They fucking hated it. So yeah, just some advice there.
So I think my favorite thing that I did was, obviously I was on crutches for a hot minute, was that I still went out when I was at uni.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I went out. I don't know.
It was really. I went out a couple of times, and I had no problems with it apart from one time where I'm not sure if it was rugby. I'm not ready to slander them off yet. But while I was on crutches, getting out of like the main part of the Lincoln SU. One of them pushed me while I was on crutches twice.
Oh, mate.
And to be fair, and actually, I will praise Dom for this because he was the one that was there with me. Dom was like, "What the fuck are you doing? No fucking all that," because Dom was sort of leading me out of the thing. And then, actually, in quite a nice note, because I was out on the Friday as well. One of his mates came up to me and was like, "Oh, were you at the SU on Wednesday?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, Did my mate push you?" And he was like, "Yeah, he did." He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that." He was going through some stuff. Thought it was a nice touch. Unbelievable stuff.
What
I'll
about
tell you one thing about wrestling, right? So
I don't.
So this is one of so this is an injury. So literally, someone that I know, literally all that happened was they got picked up in the air and then put back down on their feet, right?
Right. Okay.
She broke both knees.
She?
Yeah.
Is this girl on girl wrestling or did you do mixed?
No, this was just a training, so it was just mixed. Literally, she got picked up and put back down on her feet, broke both knees. Sorry, what's breaking both knees mean? She had fractures in both knees.
In what part? The bone at the top of the knee, like the femur bone, or the?
I don't remember which one it was. It was a while ago.
What?
Yeah, but literally just picked up and put back down on her feet, broke both knees, blew them both out. Unbelievable stuff. Now we can stop making this a wrestling thing and stop trying to embarrass me, Steve, or I will come on here. Actually, you know what?
I am trying to embarrass you, but I think you handle it very well, Tebb. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think you were up for it.
Shall I tell you something else? Something embarrassing.
It's just to make me feel better. I said
actually, I'll tell you something that's embarrassing if you want.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so so for the last season for Redu's Valley, I've had a
This
problem.
is this embarrassing?
That is embarrassing. What? That
72
scoreline?
nil. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's basically, as all linemen do, I have a problem with my arse crack being out. You know, that's just standard by the by. But I got sick of it. So what I decided to do was I decided to wear one of my wrestling singlets underneath my pads so my arse crack doesn't come out. And I did that for the last 3 games, and I even did it at the Slate Cup. There you go.
So you wore a leotard?
Under my pads.
Is that what it's called?
Well, it's a singlet, actually, Steve.
What's the difference?
There isn't a difference.
So it is a leotard.
Yes.
So like a big baby, like my little son. I've got a little poppers, and it is like
No, it's not like a baby grow.
That shape, surely.
No.
If it's what's a singlet?
I'll try and find it if you want.
Yeah, describe. Does it have legs on it?
No.
So it's holes. It's like pants down there, right?
Yeah.
And then what? Like a vest top.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an old school wrestler sort. Yeah, so like a leotard.
Yeah.
And how was it? Like, was it like amazing? And you just like, would you advise anyone to wear it?
What do you mean? If you're self-conscious about your arse crack, then yeah.
No, I mean like, but aside from that, like, were there other benefits?
What do you mean around the house?
No. As Kit playing the game. No, I don't mean around the fucking house. I just mean like, would you pass that information on as advisable to other linemen for any other reason than the bum crack thing?
I'll put it like this: like it was just sort of good to have like another layer on underneath. Like it's instead of like, because I know that some people they'll wear like a compression shirt underneath their pads or like a t-shirt underneath their pads.
Yeah.
For me, it was just nice to have another layer, but then still have not be restricted by the movement of a t-shirt. To be completely honest.
So do you know what I always think that about players with like longer hair, particularly if they've got it in dreads for the helmet. Like when they take their helmets off, and I think, God, that must have been a nice. Like they haven't got any hanging out, you know. It's all kept up here somehow. I always think that must actually add some form of comfort and protection.
Probably, yeah.
Right, I've got another full time. I'll get it up. I've posted some full times. I don't know if should we just go through them? Excuse me.
Yeah, let's go through.
There's one for you there.
So the Stirling Klansmen are continuing their trend of losing. Well, actually, they beat Leeds Griffins. Don't listen to me. But Leeds Beckett Carnegie are prove that they are real good in the Prem North. 24 Leeds Beckett, 14 Stirling. See, even that scoreline gives me a little bit of hope, based solely on the fact that, like, again, that's not an insurmountable lead for Klansmen to actually get through. So, could Stirling do it again?
Right, this one.
So the Bristol Barracuda 6, Exeter was 11. Another low-scoring game. It's
that isn't that. What league is that? Southwest 1, I'm guessing. Southwestern 1.
Yes.
Is that? Oh, so that's where the Pride are, but that's actually a decent league. You know, you've got the Demons, the Barracuda, the Killer Bees, and the Stags. There's not much between those 4 teams.
No, but then obviously, like you look at that,
they're then sandwiched by probably the best and one of the worst teams.
That's the problem. Is that you've got like the Pride of the talking point of that div.
Yeah, right,
and
they've gone out. They've scored more than 200 points in 4 games now.
Again, like it's one of those things where people
207.
People will talk to me like, "Well, do you think it's fair that they got added?" Oh my God! Oh my Lord! Bangor Mud Dogs, sort yourself out. The Lancaster Bombers take away the largest score, beating the SGS Pride 76, beating the UE Bullets 72 or 74, 72, 74,
72 they were, mate.
72. Lancaster Bombers put up 80 points on the Bangor Mud Dogs.
They are 80 Div 2 points, but they're still 80 points. No, surely it can't be right. We'll see. I already had that as a full-time score, and I can't remember what it was, so I just deleted it. I'm going to put it there, but I'm pretty sure we got told that it was a different scoreline than that. But thanks, Andre, for sending that in. I'll have to. Obviously, I always double-check the scores on Bucks Play before I do the final posts, but that's an unreal. If that's right, if that's accurate, that's unbelievable.
That's
Sorry, that's why
that's Lee Miners level Bangor.
Oh, I've got another score here that we don't have anything for. Let me just pull it up. I don't know where it is. The game. Sorry, mate. You keep talking.
Okay. Well, then in the Midlands 1, Loughborough Uni have beaten the Coventry Jets 34-2. As we said before, the Reading Knights have lost to the SGS Pride 76-0. No first downs for Bangor in the game, lads. Ugh, not a good stats line. Sussex Saxons 14. While Hertfordshire Hurricanes only get 13. Portsmouth Destroyers shut out the Surrey Stingers 13-0. And the Imperial Immortals beat the Brunel Burners. Is this the right one? It is the right one. Jesus Christ, is that right? Imperial Immortals beat Brunel 12-6.
Yep, that was posted up.
That's a great score for Imperial. Jeez.
They're doing all right.
They are doing all right, aren't they? This
score's just come up, and I'm going to post it and talk about it because so it says 46-0, the score that we got in, but looking at Bucks Play, they've got it down as 44. So I don't know which one's correct. Obviously, Edinburgh won by a lot to nothing, but I've got a discrepancy on this score line. But yeah, we'll keep it at 46-0 on ours, but it does say 44 on Bucks Play at the moment.
And in the Midlands 2, the Staffordshire Stallions get a walkover win against the Chester Legion. Southern 2, Chichester Spitfires 6, OBU Panthers 23. That game is still going on. We're waiting for updates. And in the Southeastern 2, currently, Cambridge Pythons 14, KCL Regents 34.
What are your... well... So the other score that I had for Lancaster Banger was 46-0.
Yeah.
And that was sent in, that was in the chat, and that was put in the chat an hour ago. So it is feasible that 34 points. I actually considered that a full-time score, so I put it as full-time. I don't know why, but they didn't confirm that. So that's my error, and it does look like that 80-0 is right, which is crazy. So far with the results of even performances that we know of today, what's the biggest one for you that sticks out? Like
realistically,
shocker.
now, Imperial Brunel.
But that's a close game. Why is that such a?
It's the same thing that happened in the previous meeting between Imperial and Brunel. Is that you look at Brunel versus everyone else? It's 50. It's 58. But against Imperial, they can't get anything going.
It's their bogey team.
It's exactly, that's what it is. Because when you look at something like the SGS Pride, am I surprised? No. You look at the Bullets, am I surprised? No. Obviously, with Lancaster versus Bangor, if we can get that confirmed, then I'll change my answer.
No, why? Well, yeah. You shouldn't have to. But yeah, no, I think it's good to hear your logic on it. Like, I'm not challenging it.
It's just interesting to see, like, it's when teams are dominant, like completely 100% domination, absolute running them down. But then they have that one team that is just stopped. They know, like, they might as well have their playbook. They got other coaches on the side. There's some espionage going on for Imperial and Brunel.
So I've got another full-time score, and I'm going to put it up. The team that won. They held on there because they were 34-6 up, I think, at one point.
It was quite a deficit for the Pythons.
Yeah.
Realistically, Pythons, if you come back in that sort of game, obviously you have lost, but don't feel too bad about yourself.
The Regents are still undefeated for that though, 3-0 on the season, so not bad. What other games? I'm just having a look through a list of what games we've got left.
Actually, do you know what my biggest match of the day is? Winchester Silverbacks versus other sports being played.
Winchester Silverbacks versus organisation. They just. I'm gutted for him. I am. I genuinely am. Like, you imagine that was you, like your team, and you'd just be so disappointed that you've given up two. Well, we're speculating there because we haven't got it confirmed, but it looks like they're likely to give another 1-0 walkover to their opposition in this. That's 2 on the season. That's 4 points, minus 4 points that they get for that. You know, like they're already, one of the newer teams in the league, one of the lower performing teams, trying to put it nicely. I'm not, but like they love the sport and they want to do well, and this stuff just doesn't help them at all, So I hope that it's not something that's going to, cause like rifts and upset people and, force them away. Because when your team is a losing team year on year, and I know they're only in their second year of performing, but when you have a losing record, political stuff like this, organizational stuff like this, gets to people a lot more, So yeah, I just hope it's not something that sort of causes greater issue.
Like that's what I think is interesting. Like you take on teams that have had to give over walkovers this season, like someone like the Chester Legion, who in their first game put up a very good performance against Nottingham Green, losing 28-36. Next 2 games, both walkovers. They've given one to Keele and they've given one to Staffordshire this week. It would just be
Chester.
Yeah.
Oh, but why do you think that is? Do you reckon that points to some? Because this week was the classic week to just like if you thought, oh, we might lose this one. It was the classic week to not call the game. Yeah. So we got around that pitch, man. That's terrible, away or home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so it, the fact that it is a game that's been called a walkover midweek, we got the notice for that. Tells you that there are, squad number issues. Although I think wasn't it them that said that they've got a reading week this week?
I don't recall, but even. I guess.
Not that I'm saying that's a great excuse.
That's a terrible excuse.
I hate it, but it's almost like the old like the COVID excuse for last season, for the Britball season. It was like, oh yeah, all bets are off. They've got a reading week. There's nothing they can do. But
for me, it's interesting because it's not like Chester have like done a Huddersfield and they like lost massively in their first game. It's like they put up a good fight against a good team. But then you have to look at it sort of the same way with Huddersfield. Like Staffordshire beat Huddersfield 60-12. Next week, Huddersfield walkover win for Notts Green. And this is why I can see that you could literally turn around to me and say, like, this is why Midlands Div 2 is not the best div, because there's been 1, 2,
No, see, I like
3 walkovers.
The best divisions are the most competitive. That's the best. Like, so if you're in a situation where anyone can beat anyone, that's quality. You feel gutted, like you feel gutted for the team. Like if you're in a situation where you feel gutted for the team to get relegated, that's a good little in Uniball, where you've got 5 or 6 teams. You're like, oh man, they should never have got relegated, but they had the worst record. Like that's cool. Like I'm cool with that. The worst leagues are the ones that are one-sided, and really, how it's shaping up now, the Prem self looks to be that way. Looks fairly one-sided. Is it foregone in that division that the Pirates are the worst team and therefore getting relegated this season?
Yes.
So therefore that's like, and then in the North, is it foregone in your mind that
more so than the
Griffins,
Pirates, more so
the
than
Griffins
the
and Nottingham Green are the top and bottom teams?
The gold.
The gold.
Yes.
For me,
actually, no, because
of Leeds Beckett.
Because of Leeds Beckett.
Okay, so that's a more exciting league then.
Yeah,
so the Prem
100%.
North is more exciting than the Prem South because
100%.
you're not as convinced of the bottom or the top teams, which is great. In the Prem South, you were like, yep, Done.
Well, that's it. It's like you really can't be convinced of either side of the coin, because you've got Leeds, Beckett, and Notts Gold at the top, and then you've got Griffins, Klansman, and Durham at the bottom. I'm less convinced on Durham, but I'm less convinced that Durham will go down. I'm very convinced that Leeds Griffins will go back down to Div 1.
Yeah.
But could it happen? Could Leeds Griffins pull out a win, which means that someone else is going to be facing relegation? 100%. Like realistically, for me, like there's only one div where I look at that and I'm like, that is a very stressful situation. I'm trying to think if it's obviously they don't think it'll be relegated, and that's obviously like there's no relegation in Div 2, but I think it is like I think that the Bucks Southern 2, like the top three, top
Chichester,
and Lancers, Brighton, Kingston, OBU, Chichester, Winchester, UCL. UCL and Winchester, not so much. Winchester maybe due to more administrative issues more than anything.
They're fighting against their own security secretaries.
Yeah, but I think actually there's another one as well. The Lancers, the Brighton Panthers, and the Kingston Cougars, I think, for a top three, that's very interesting. But actually, a better example is the Bucks Southeast Div 1, Imperial, Brunel, QMBL, Essex Blades, ARU Rhinos. ARU Rhinos, they're probably going to get sent down. But I love this tussle at the top between Imperial, Brunel, and QMBL. I think that is... That's spicy.
You think that's what?
Spicy.
Can you just repeat the sound?
Oh, what, the whistle?
The whistle, yeah.
It's good stuff. I've really
my internet's deciding to not work at the moment, so if I go off, just to warn you.
Talk nonsense. It's fine.
Yeah, just carry on as is. But
yeah,
I think. Is it not right to assume that the Lancers are the strongest team in that division then?
What in?
No. To South? No?
I wouldn't say so. Is that I think that Brighton are in it. I realistically think that.
Let me just check it again.
I really think that Kingston could be in it. Also, good night out, Kingston. Hook me up. Hook me up. Let me go Viper Rooms one more time. Unbelievable stuff.
Kingston have played 2 games, scored 20 points, conceded 20 points. That's not an inspired 1-1 and lost one.
How about you let me have my opinion? How about that?
It's like the most vanilla stats I've ever seen. Yeah, of course I'll let you have your opinion, but don't tell me that compares against the mighty Oxford Lancers, who after 2 games are 2-0, having scored 61 points and conceded 12.
And yet, in the rankings, they're 4th. Unbelievable. How does that work?
I don't care about the rankings. Do you know what's funny?
You don't care
right?
about the rankings?
No, I don't know. For me, that's like your thing, not mine, right? Like, but it's funny how when we put stuff out that's a bit more controversial or polarizing, not necessarily controversial, but things that can put people's nose out of place and other people like, I get my phone blows up. I get people messaging me, but also we get messages, like we get messages in comments, we get messages in our inbox, and your rankings caused all sorts of troubles this week, but also not trouble, but comment, like reaction, not only do they say stuff about it, but they also blame me, and it's like my fault. I didn't write the fucking thing. Tell him. That's what I ended up saying back to a couple of people. Okay, well, tell him then. One of them didn't pretend it was me or didn't think it was me. He was like, "Oh, your guy that does those rankings doesn't know what he's talking about." I was like, "All right, tell him." Why are you wasting my day with this? Like, it doesn't it's nothing to do with me, you know. So yeah, that's the one thing that about your power rankings.
It's changing it back. It's going to be two separate things now. We're going to do the rankings based on simply just power rankings in general, not based on the week, and then a separate article about top performers of that. Are you going
to do a bad performers as well? Because that's always interesting.
Yeah, I'll split that.
Because surely the Silverbacks.
Bangor.
Silverback. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose if you do that, you might end up with just like one team in this end and one like in the same game. So I suppose you need to be careful about how you do that because you don't want it to be like, yeah, you had a good week and you had a bad week because you played each other.
One of my problems is that I don't want to be necessarily too negative and tell someone that you need to.
Do you know what I've noticed that about yours? Yours are actually always positive. You're like, we want this team that could do better to turn around. You don't trounce on any teams, do you?
No, I'm not. I don't want to. Like Uniball's difficult, but it's still like one of the most fun things you can do. Like I'm not out here going to tell you that you are trash. Fold. Apart from if you're one specific team.
Which one's that?
I don't know. I can DM something. I don't know.
They're good lads. They're a good team.
Again, I don't hate any team. Lies.
Apart from DMU.
and Hull and Edinburgh and anyone else in Midlands too. No,
I feel like you bring a lot of baggage to this broadcast, Tebb.
And I made you clear of that when I started. And Hull as well.
You said Hull.
But okay, but in terms of like who's at the top, okay, fine. My consensus of Oxford Lancers, Brighton Panthers, and Kingston Cougars might not be particularly that one. I will concede. UClan Rams, the Bucks Northern Tier 2. My only thing is with that one, I think that UClan have got more of an edge to completely smash that division than Oxford.
They already are. They already are smashing that division, right? Like they're powerful.
That's it. I'm more happy to put UClan at the top than I am to say Lancers have got this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my thing. So, so when this goes to Mondays, teams, and you can sit here and watch me rank you. If you've got a problem, put it in the comments.
You're going to get. Do you know what? I'll be extremely disappointed when you come in all bolshy, swinging and be like, right, well, this is how these teams are going to fall in whatever division, and then someone pops up in the chat and convinces you otherwise.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm going to call you. I'm going to say you're weak, like you're weak-minded.
That's the thing. I'm not against. If someone puts a better point out there, I will read it. And
that, you're right. That's how you should need to be. Like you can't, especially doing anything in media, you can't sort of be like, I've said it now.
Don't get me wrong. Like I've done the rankings and I've gone back and I've thought okay, maybe not this team. Like even just now, like it's still like I don't know what it is. There's just something that's not drawing me to say the Lancers have got that div. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. It could just be I'm an idiot. And that is a fully valid comment that can be made. But if you do call me an idiot and my rankings are shit, I'm going to pull down my sports journalism master's degree and I'm going to show it to you.
Is it a master's?
Yes.
God, you wouldn't know. I'm joking.
No, to be fair, you wouldn't. It's literally a fucking.
No, I love all your writing and stuff. I think it's awesome. It does show. Just a particular talk track from today that I'm really looking forward to is to see how the Cardiff Cobras got on against the Birmingham Lions, and if that game, I assume that game went ahead. It was played at Cardiff, from what I can tell. Kickoff was at 1. That game's big because, quite simply, Cardiff newly promoted and doing well in Prem South, avoided and delayed their game against the Bullets, their opening game of the season, got it postponed, And this is the first time that they're, coming up against one of the bigger boys, like the prestige of the Birmingham Lions is like second to none, right? Like, so and I don't say that as like, I'm not trying to be, it's not a lead-in statement. I genuinely want to see how the Cobras perform against one of the best teams in the country, because I think the Cobras are a decent side, man. Like they particularly they went up they did very well in Div 1. Obviously, you've got to do well in Div 1 to get promoted. Like the fact that they got there is fantastic. Obviously, a year out and then playing is really tough for a team that's gone up from Div 1 to the Prem. As the Leeds Griffins are showing, right? Like it's a massive jump, and it's even harder when you lose 2 years of vets and then I've got 2 years of newbies to blood in, right? So like, yeah, I've got nothing but respect for both teams, and I'm just keen to see how they're getting on. So if anyone out there listening to this, if you're there, Superman, let us know. If you can find out the score for that game, and even if it's not full time, if it's just like a current score, I'd love to hear it.
As I said earlier, within the rankings, it's difficult to rank Prem because it's so difficult. But one that flips is Cardiff and Birmingham, because there's unfortunately for them, it is a race for second, but it's still a very interesting game. And that's all you really want from Britball, really, or Uniball.
Yeah,
just make it interesting, make it funny, because obviously it's interesting for the people who play it. That's why I'll talk about Ooze Valley all day long.
Well, it's not just about the win or loss of that game though. It's about the performance. So if it was a 5-10 point margin or a 2 point margin, that's different to it being a 30-50 point margin, right? Let's say Cardiff lose. It's how much they lose by that actually, makes a huge difference for them considering their situation. I also think we need to sort of see Birmingham play more games, because I think they've played 2, won 1 and lost 1, and they sort of smashed one opponent to pieces and then got absolutely done over the next week by a different one. 41 against the Titans, and then the next Saturday
52 loss. 52-0 loss.
I saw it. I was watching it. It was, and so there's still that lingering. I think we know Lions are still quite a class outfit, but there's still that lingering thing of have they lost their edge here? Is there an upset on the cards? And that's why I'm really keen in understanding more about this result.
Because one thing that I think isn't sort of touched upon is consistency in scoring. For example, Birmingham over their 2 games, they've got no consistency. 41 points on Swansea Titans, losing to UE 52. Now you look at Cardiff, they scored 24, beat UEA Pirates 24-12. Swansea, they beat them 26-6. Consistency, they can see that they're a consistent outfit. It's sort of why I was so shocked earlier that Imperial beat Brunel, because
they've been 50 burgering teams.
They've been 2 50 burgers, but then two apps Imperial lets Brunel get absolutely nothing. If in an ideal world, I would love to go down to watch Imperial versus Brunel, because I've got no idea how that game shapes out. I want to know what that game looks like. I can only grab it from the one, but I'd love to know what actually follow Brunel and see how they're doing, because they're obviously an exciting team. But you run them up against Imperial, who must be very stout on defense. That must be an incredible game to watch. Have we got any Bath Spa Plymouth scores? Let me have a look for you.
I was just going to get up a couple of last comments. So Nathan Coates, Nathan, he's put a couple of things. He's put Exeter 11, Barracuda 6 full time, 2 lead changes in the last 90 seconds. Quite an exciting one there. Very low scoring though, but still good. Amanda, thank you, Amanda, has said, you may already know. Apologies if you do. We do, but we'll repeat it again because you've taken the time. But Amanda has said that SGS Pride beat Reading 76-0. Yeah, we had that one already, Amanda. Thank you. And yeah, it's a huge scoreline. This is what you were just getting to, which was Nathan asking for Bar Plymouth. That's a game I don't have a score update on. I don't know, Tebb, if you've got anything your end.
I've got nothing for it, but I was having this discussion with someone who came into the place I worked at, who plays for Gloucestershire Gladiators, and he was saying that they weren't very impressed that they lost to Bath Spa Bulldogs, and I think it was like Bath Spa had lost.
I love Bath Spa.
I know. I'm not having a go. I'm just.
They were the whipping boys for years and years in Uniball, and they're starting to turn a corner, and I love it. So, yeah, and I appreciate. I'm shooting the messenger here, but fuck you, Tebb. Right. Anyway, and then Marcin. Hopefully, I'm saying the name correctly. Has just confirmed the UE Titans score. Sorry, UE Swansea, should I say? 72-0. So yeah, we saw that one on live stream, and yeah, we hopefully the lads from the Titans who went off injured are all okay. So I think I counted 3. I don't know if any of them actually came back on.
Same with the people in the Surrey Stingers game as well. Not
early finish, half time. Was it half time that they called it? Yeah. So yeah. So the Stingers win that one. I think it was 13-0. They were up. Oh no, Portsmouth won that one, didn't they?
Yeah, Portsmouth won. I forget what I think, but yes, Portsmouth won that game. They had to stop it early.
Yeah, 13-0. Yeah, down in Pompey, just round the corner from where my mum lives. Just to let you know, that was actually. Oh no, it wasn't. I was going to say that was where I got dislocated my kneecap. It wasn't. It was an away game when I did that. I was getting all excited then. I'm going to say it's the same field, but it wasn't. Just like looping it back, like all good comedians do. I don't consider myself a comedian, by the way, before anyone says anything. No one is posting. We're going to have to end the stream soon. I'm getting bored. Come on, let us know what's going on. Actually, if you're out there, we got probably the higher set of people watching this now in terms of numbers. You guys got any questions that you want us to chew the fat over? Let us know. You got any unpopular opinions about the sport, about the game? Let's turn this into a bit of a talk show while we wait for these. Results to come in. Tebb, I hope you were in agreement with that because I know that you're leading this show, but I just went for it, mate. I just saw red. And I was like, nah.
Oh God, there's no content. Someone asked me a question.
Yeah. Well, I can flick Fortnite on, have a go at that and show you. I'll get Victory Royale, no problem.
That's a lie, you know. How many Victory Royales you got? None.
Oh, no, look. Hundreds.
How's your Mexican food? How's that? We ain't talked about your Mexican food.
Yeah, so I had a quesadilla. I polished that off. I had some burritos, which I didn't realise. Well, no, they're soft tacos, actually, which I did order, but they put them... But I'd consider that would be a burrito, but it's not. It's actually a soft taco. They're all right. I could do with some sauce on them, so I'm going to save these 2 for... I've got 2 more left. And I had a Dr. Pepper, which I don't really have fizzy drinks, but that one was. I just thought, look at it, man. Like, who are these people to judge me? I just went for it.
Oh, dear me. But yeah, see, you started talking about your Mexican food. Half the viewers,
they loved it.
In fact, what they've done is they've gone off to go and get more Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I feel
As
like
Southwest One has an extra team to fit SGS, will they relegate 2 or will the Prem relegate to no one? The Prem, well, do you know what, Glenn? I actually think we're headed for a complete realignment in Bucks next year. I actually think the Prem's going to be extended, and yeah, we'll have a different structure. But answering it sort of as you've asked, so as Southwest One as an extra team, will they get relegated? Will they relegate 2? I don't know.
I feel like if something's going to happen there,
I can't tell you the answer now, but I'm in contact with the commissioner of American football for Bucks, I can ask him. Neil Kingston. He's a nice bloke. Do you ever meet him? Shake his hand. Tell him he's a good man. And we love him dearly. Not just you, Tebb. I'm telling the whole of Britball this. Neil Kingston is a don. So I don't know the answer. I never considered it before, but I actually, like I said, I actually think that there's a restructuring come, which brings us on to what Brett has said here. Mr. Ben Reed, would you like to see 4 tiers in Bucks? I think this is interesting. What do you reckon? Is there an argument for chopping it into 4 tiers, for extending the Prem, like any sort of alignment?
Like, you look at Div 2. There's obviously a lot more teams in the Div 2s, but I feel like for something like.
Go on, sorry. I was going to say something, but then I realised you were talking. I just was reacting to my thought.
Okay. Okay. Like, there's obviously a lot more teams in the Div 2 rankings. So I would say, I think it would depend on how many new teams really want to join. Because there's probably a few unis out there who are probably interested. But as far as I'm concerned, it's about making sure that the players get their money's worth in terms of games.
How much do players pay?
It's a good question. Like, I remember I was paying like upwards of 100 and something, which obviously for a student is relatively large if you're not working, or depending on if you get your full student finance, like some scumbags. They as long as the players get, it depends on the uni.
Okay.
The players need to get a good amount of games per season. And
what's a good amount?
Like, I'd say realistically, an 8-game season would be great. Mm-hmm. Even if it means chopping it up so you can have 4 on either side. Because obviously
you're talking of the month break.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because obviously, like, you look at Div 2. Now I'm just going to check this because I'm making sure that I'm not wrong on it. Is that they only play each other once. As they only play each other once a season.
So it depends, but they'll play each team once, or not even all of them, depending on the number of teams there are. Yeah.
But even if you trim that down, so it becomes you play each team twice, and then you aggregate the results for players like that. That I can understand as, trimming people off, putting them into an even lower div, but then having teams join at what would probably be a 4th div level. I imagine that the struggle of getting funding would only increase more if there was a 4th division. Like, it's already a struggle for teams to get funding if they're in Div 2. Sorry,
where does this funding come from? What are you referring to? Like from the sports unions?
Yeah. Because obviously, comparatively, you look at American football in terms of equipment that is needed, it's larger than something like, normal football, or like even say hockey. Like, they'll probably provide like maybe the sticks and probably the goalies kit, but probably not, shin pads and the rest. Well, in American football, you need a helmet, you need pads. Mm-hmm. And you need that for very well could be, 50, maybe even 70, maybe a much larger majority of people. It's going to be much more difficult to get that funding if there is a 3rd div.
Why? What? Because they'll say we're only going to give you it if you're in the top 3 divs. Because you're bottom.
But also, like, you're looking at it in terms of like if there were new teams coming in, it's going to be difficult to justify it unless there's already a like 50-man squad, and like, because how much money are you going to have to spend to start up a uni team? Is is that particular question. But no, I think yes, I think it could work. I think it could work if.
So I think I think a better restructuring would be to extend the Prem by maybe a few slots, by a few teams in both North and South, and shrink down the number of conferences in Div 1 and Div 2. So you've got more teams in. So you've still got, the same number of teams, but there's more teams, and then you just play against teams at random in your division. And one thing I actually think would be worth considering, and I think this for senior ball as well, though, but I'm interested in hearing what Uniballers think, is the bottom division is 8-a-side. Chew on that. Oh, sorry. We got just what we say on screen here. Gigas a Spitfire 6, OBU Panthers 23 full time. We had Dave Parker said that the game between Bangor and Lancaster was actually 74-0, and he's said as refs and coaches. I don't know. Yeah, so we've got a discrepancy there, but I always check Bucks play before I do the final scorecards anyway. But yeah, thank you, Dave, for that correction. Yeah, Ted, what do you reckon?
I do think that
specifically about the 8-a-side.
So, I feel like the issue in is it a good idea in theory? Yes. The reality aspect is COVID. You can see with Baffa, they didn't want people moving around too much. So that's why we had the COVID league, where we played the people that were closest to us, not the people who were in our div. So if it is going to be restructured in a case of you're going to have, 8 teams in a div, they're going to have to be very careful in terms of moving people around and how that looks in, I guess I would say a post-COVID world, but
I thought we already got past that. I thought by the end of the season, well, certainly for Baffa, by the end of the season, they'd sort of taken on board that it was the same level of sort of risk, and they said to clubs, they offered the ridiculous option for teams to have an extra game against any team they wanted, but as long as they were in the same division, as in Prem level, Div 1 level, Div 2 level. So theoretically, a team from London could have played a team from Liverpool, or Manchester, as everyone wanted, right? But so I thought the latest thing was that we'd, accelerated past the point of ring fencing geographies, and we were able to and they wanted to align it by capability or competition.
It's yes and no, but they're still we're all still beholden to the actual central government, and if they look at it and be like, this is still shifty, then I don't think that they're gonna want people moving around as much, especially
there's always the chance of it going back into more stricter. But I was just basing it off of where we ended the Premier, the senior season.
That is good, because the senior season, both, I would say it works, but technically it didn't really work. It didn't really prove. Well, I guess it did. I mean, it was fun. It was good. It was a good laugh, but
I hated it.
I know you hated it.
It still annoys me, but I was at the Baffa Q&A yesterday morning after they had their AGM, and listening in on that, and in that and in their annual report, they just sort of barely acknowledge and skirt over a lot of what were very serious issues for them, which is really disappointing. But it's probably for another show at another time. But yeah, I feel Baffa are like a football team that I support that never perform well. Portsmouth Football Club. like I want them to do well. I want them to excel. I want them to, but I can't ignore the fact that they're scoring 3 own goals a game, for example. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people out there, because of the platform that I use and I got, they think I'm anti-Baffer, and I'm certainly not. I'm pro-Baffer and I'm pro-American football and want everything to work well. But I'm also, it's not beyond me to fucking, I won't play sort of airs and graces, and I will call out shit when I see it, right? But I'll also call out good stuff. But I just think, they've been largely incompetent. They sort of proved it even more with this annual report and the Q&A yesterday. A lot of the answers, and even the chair, Nicole, she was like having to sort of correct mostly Pete, but anyone else that was answering, and say, no, you haven't answered the question. Can you answer that question again? It's just like they're most slopey shouldered people I've ever known, and there's no accountability. But sorry, I know I've sort of gone off on a tangent there, but yeah. I hate Baffer.
But no, but no, I do think it's interesting. Like, I do think there is a restructuring coming for everything in American football, but they've just got to make it. They've just got to make it work in the in the world we live in. So
correct. Yeah, and I understand that, but like, what my biggest criticism for like this last year was them not rolling with punches. So as they had like a 6-month plan that they were trying to execute, and it started to unravel very quickly. And they were like, no, let's stick to this plan. It's showing that it doesn't work. Like, no, yeah, we're just going to, stay the course. And I just think that there was a lack of intervention as the national governing body that there should have been. Oh, we've got Derby Braves updates. Let me see. It's a snow game. It's proper snowing.
Have you? Okay then. Let's get off the topic of Baffer before
they've posted them having a snowball fight.
Okay, what, the teams?
No, the Derby Braves. They haven't posted one score update. It was just loads of video of people in the snow.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
thanks,
sorry.
Derby.
Yeah.
What is the worst weather you've ever played in? What's the worst pitch you've ever played on? I think that's a good one. That's always a favourite of mine.
In American football?
Yeah.
I know.
Because I'll give you mine. Edinburgh Napier Nights. No, there was just a mud bowl. It was raining. We were up in real grass pitch up in Scotland. Not what you.
Yeah, I can't think. I'm trying to think because I've been playing a few years, so like I'm trying to make sure I do this justice. But I can't even think of like the worst conditions were definitely at some point because in Northern Virginia when I played, it's not a summer sport, it's a winter sport. So it's absolutely fucking freezing at times playing, but that's no different to Uniball, right? Like
exactly.
So I would have played in some boggy pitches and that's probably. I don't know. It's funny because I never consider those bad. It's just another, like running, like wet conditions just means it's a running game, and you get to do some big hits and it's just it's good fun, no problem. I don't mind. I've played in snow. I have played in snow. That was probably the worst, just because it was cold. But it was like my hands were getting cold. Like I hated that. But it's actually quite nice playing in snow because you got a bit of a cushion. I suppose the worst surfaces to play on for me are the sanded 3G. 3G.
Don't.
You just rip yourself. You rip your eye if you don't have any. If you don't have any long sleeves, so that's.
Used to train on that. Thanks, Lincoln.
Stupid, man. Finsbury Park. That's where Finsbury's where the Blitz play. They've got a grass field though. That's not that bad, Glenn, is it? What's bad about it, Glenn? Tell us. So those. I mean, the crumb ones are a pain because they just get everywhere and you fill out your shoes. But the sand, the old like concrete underneath, sand on top. They were the worst that I can think of.
I could tell you what the best pitch I ever played on was. the lovely people over at DMU. Honestly, their pitch. I think, obviously, we came away from that game hating DMU as per. We were like, but the pitch though, you could fall asleep on it. Like honestly, you fall down, you run a risk of having a good
This is
8
grass.
Hours. No.
What 4G?
Yes, a very new 4G as well.
Ooh, I've got the final score from the Braves Fury game. I'll get it up on screen. I'm not going to say it. I can't find it. There they are. What do you reckon? What's your prediction?
I think LJMU have probably won.
Okay.
I think because it's probably going to be a snow game.
Yeah. It's definitely a snow game.
12-6. Oh, okay. Wrong.
Yes, wrong. So the Derby Braves with the win. I like the Braves. I'm still surprised that they're not a Prem team. It still always strikes me every year when I see that they're Div 1. Like I was surprised when they got relegated, and I'm surprised that they're still not up there. But I think they came like ridiculously close last season. I can't remember exactly how it played out, but obviously the Leeds Griffins won it above them. But I remember it, like they're there or thereabouts every season since they went down, but they've not obviously made that jump yet.
I'm still. I take it. I think you addressed this earlier, but I was too busy looking at scores or something like that. Any confirmation on the Lancaster?
Well, we've got 80-0 and we've got 74-0. I think it's more likely to be 74, just because of I don't know. I don't really understand the complete reference. But Dave Barker's put we said as refs and coaches, so I think there was like an agreement on the score.
Okay.
It looks like. So I think he sounds like he was, I don't know who he is. He's probably some sort of ref.
2, 3 70 pluses this today. That is unbelievable.
I've got another score. Right, cool. Yeah. It's a 70 plus. Like that's guaranteed.
But 3 70 pluses in a week. That is difficult.
Why?
That's just a lot. It's just a lot. Like I can understand like 1 70-pointer, but 3, it's just very impressive. Well, I guess it's not from the Pride. Do better, Pride. Put 100 points on someone.
Do you reckon the Pride will put 100 points on anyone this year? I don't think they would, even if they could.
No, I don't think they would.
Even not if they could. If they get the chance to, I don't think they'd even take it. Of course they could.
It's another shocking loss for the Longhorns. Longhorns are very much in the same boat as the Leeds Griffins. They're going to come back down this year. When I played against Leicester in the season where they then got promoted to Div 1, solid team, good team. But I think that once again, that year off has hurt them quite a fair bit. So,
yeah. Unfortunately, they're definitely one of the casualties of COVID. I just want to go through the games that we've got. We don't have scores for. We're waiting for scores on. So we don't have anything for Cardiff and Birmingham. Cardiff Cobras and Birmingham Lions. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff, as far as we know. We don't have anything for the Essex Blades and the ARU Rhinos. Nothing for the YSJ Jaguars and Glasgow Tigers. Nothing for the Pyros and the Wolverines. Although I'm fairly sure I did see a score for that, but I can't. I'll have to go back through and see. Nothing for Bath's Bar Bulldogs and Plymouth Blitz, and nothing for the Solent Redhawks and UE Bullets 2s. And everything else we've either got a score for, or it's been called off So there's quite a lot of games that we just don't have anything about yet. I'm just going to have a look
Honestly,
at
for
Bucks
me,
play.
For me, it's trying to find Glasgow Uni Tigers scores.
Apparently on Bucks play, the Imperial Brunel score was 12-6. Didn't we have it as 12-8?
Oh, that's a good question.
No,
I
it is
don't know.
12-6. Sorry, we did have it as 12-6. I just scrolled up. Sorry.
Yeah, honestly, trying to find scores for Glasgow Uni Tigers is genuinely, honestly, you'd have better luck finding Atlantis, to be completely honest. It's very, I don't know why they just don't. They don't want to give it to us. Have you done something, Steve, to annoy Glasgow?
Probably.
Probably, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. Yeah, probably. I say a lot of stuff that people don't agree with, and I don't try to, but I don't know. It's their problem.
Yeah. Which is why I can't wait for Uniball Live Mondays, where I get shouted at by all the teams that I don't rank.
Yeah, what should we call it? What should we call the new show? Uniball Live?
What is that? It's a good question.
It's like a match of the day is what but match of the day is on the same day, so you can't.
No, boring.
I don't know. Yeah, if you can think of something, that'd be cool.
There you go.
Uniball Live sounds cool.
So it does just sound like it does sound like we are going to be talking about what it's like living with one testicle. That's my only problem.
Okay, well we can pick something else.
No, I'm joking. It doesn't matter too much. The amount of times where I've wanted to change my name on this to Lance Armstrong, and then someone asks me why.
Uniball.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, actually, we probably need to think of something because we maybe not that is not sorry, maybe something that is not attributed to just one discipline, because it could be a show that we do for other disciplines as well on a Monday night. So
is Monday Night Football been taken? Is that a thing?
I've never heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it either. Perfect. Monday Night Football it is.
Live. Right. I reckon we should wrap up in a minute.
So do I. I think
because nothing's coming through.
Nothing's coming through.
I want to put some mayonnaise on these.
I was about to say, do you want to go and put some sauce on them?
Yeah, I need another drink. That's it, really. People did ask us a couple of questions, which was quite nice.
I'm happy with. I think this episode's gone really well. I think the format works. We got all the scores and we were able to talk about the scores. But Steve, as I do with Dom, every time we end, what is your?
Have I got to pick a game?
You got to pick a game. You got to pick a team. You got to pick a team that you think needs to improve.
Have I? Okay.
That's what me and Dom do.
I don't care. I don't care what you and Dom do. I don't care. But I will do it. Now go on. I'm going to pick. Oh, we got. Yeah, Harriet Martin Jones. Thank you very much. She told us that Bath Spa lost to the Plymouth. I always call them the Plymouth Admirals, but they're the Blitz 16-8. So thank you, Harriet.
This always
happens. So my player of the week is Harriet Martin Jones.
Nice.
I think happens.
We say we're about to leave, and then someone will be like, "Bang! Here's a score."
They just pull us back in, don't they?
Yeah, it's real bad.
The Harriet Martin Jones of the world don't want this live stream to finish.
They don't want. They want Steve to eat dry tacos. That's what they want.
Yeah, dry cold. So thank you so much, Harriet. You're a star. You're a gem. You deserve more money than you currently get in your life.
There you go.
Right. So my best performance.
You can just do a game of the week if you want.
Well, performance of the week is Harriet Martin Jones.
We'll do game of the week then.
What?
One game where you were where you look at that and you say that is my
sun and my moon.
Yeah, that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah. So what criteria am I applying here?
Is surprising victory, horrific loss, what looked good.
So where do I want to spotlight something?
Yeah, when you want to spotlight a game, this is.
So the game, it was supposed to be played yesterday, got postponed to February 20th between Hull Sharks and Newcastle Raiders.
You going to give me a reason, or are you just going to say it?
No, that's it.
Thanks, man.
No, I'll give you a real one.
You can just say no. You can just say no.
No. I'm taking this seriously. Don't try and scurry off. I'm gonna say the Derby Braves versus the LGMU Fury, 28-14. We just had it up on screen. That one. That's my highlight one because a lot of it's to do with the fact that you thought the Fury were going to beat them by 10 or so points. And I trust your word, and I just think that's a bit of a shocker. But I also like Derby Braves, and I want them to get back into the Prem. I think they deserve it. There you go.
Good enough reason. And I'm going to go with the one that I was talking about. Again, I think it's a shocker. I know it's not. I know that they beat them last time, and but yeah, even still, I do love the sort of tussle that's going on, and that is the Imperial Immortals versus the Brunel Burners. I'm just so happy. Imperial coming away with the victory. If I can find it, what was it? 12-6.
12-6. I got it off the screen.
There you go, 12-6. I think whatever Imperial is doing to shut down the Brunel Burners, obviously very potent offense, is nothing short of nosebleed again.
Too much coke.
Too much coke. Imperial Immortals obviously have got something that the Brunel Burners simply can't top, and I think that is just amazing to shut down such a big offense.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry, go. Sorry.
No,
There's a good.
That's it. That's all I had.
So the existing score, the last score update we had from the Sussex Saxons versus the Hertfordshire Hurricanes. Oh yeah. I'll go back to that in a second. The last score we had from that game, Sussex Saxons and the Hertfordshire Hurricanes, was Sussex Saxons 14. What?
We got another one in.
Oh yeah, good old Frankie. Sussex Saxons 14 and the Hurricanes 13. Right? That was the last score. Do you want to see the full-time score?
Go on, hit me with it.
Here it comes. They won by a safety.
That's got to be stressful for Sussex,
mate. Yeah, and Sussex were promoted into Div 1. Hertfordshire relegated from the Prem. These two meeting in the middle. Sussex promoted from Div 2 last competition. I keep saying last season, but I can't. Frankie's posted up 72-0 for Swansea. Yeah, we knew that one. Was it 72? Yeah, we had 72. Cheers, Frankie. And then he's put up the twos. Oh, sorry, you already had it. UE Bullets twos, or the UE twos, 18-14 over Solent.
And that's another big victory for the UE2s because they started off, they weren't doing too well. They beat Gloucestershire last week. They beat Solent this week. Oh, it's looking real good for the Bullets.
It's a great time to be a pellet. Yeah. Right, can we go yet, or have we still got to
No, we're
trying to see what others. Frankie, if you're out there, Francis Pankhurst, here he is, up the pellets. Frankie, have you got a score for the Cobras versus the Lions? So Cardiff Cobras versus Birmingham Lions. Surely, with your network and your ability to plug into the matrix, you can pull out a score for us. Frankie is the offensive coordinator for the UE Bullets first team.
Oh, very nice. It's on their Insta.
It's on their Insta. Which Insta? Why couldn't he just tell me the fucking score?
Oh,
cool.
27-12 Lions.
Who's Insta? Because I thought I had all Insta accounts. When you say their Insta, he must mean No, I don't know what he means actually. Let me show the Cobras. Brum. Oh, we must not follow him. Birmingham Lions. Yes, I was not following them. So 27-12 to Birmingham.
Well,
Let's
there
just
we
check.
go. We might have. It's a good slate this week. Apart from you, Glasgow Uni Tigers, give me the score.
Right, let's just check. Or
He's right. I've
27-12.
Just checked it. He's right.
Yeah, 27-12 to the Lions. Yeah. 58 seconds on the clock. Cool. Okay, wow. So that's what do you make of that one, Tebb?
Again, I think you're right in terms of that says more about Cardiff. You know, that's quite a competitive game to have with, you know, one of the bigger boys in the division. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping that, you know, Birmingham can, you know, build on this, hopefully take what they've learned from the first meeting with the Bullets, transfer it, obviously use it a game like this to sort of test out some things, and then come into the next game against the Bullets and put on a better performance than they did the first time. It really is as simple as that in Britball. But I think, you know, Cardiff Cobras, they can't be too upset with that. You know, they're still you know, quite near the top of that leaderboard. You know, I think this is their first loss. Big game in the Prem South this next week. Ooh, Swansea. See that? Now that's what I like. Frankie's got it. Swansea at the Pirates. Titans at the Pirates. Loser probably gets relegated.
Yep.
Pirates. I'll be honest. If I had Paddy Power for that game, you would be. I'd
Your odds wouldn't be that good, would they?
No, but my odds would be
for either team.
My odds would be awful. That's how they get you.
Right, let me just check. So, what games have we not got a score for? We've done all right. Essex plays ARU Rhinos.
York St John and Glasgow Uni Tigers.
No, we've got a score for that.
Have we?
No,
I don't think so.
No, we don't. Sorry. Who's my money on? For that, my money is on the Pirates to go down.
My money's on the Pirates to go down.
Yeah. Yeah. And not and like that's, you know, head over heart sort of thing. I don't really care who gets relegated from the Prem South. It's not a big deal to me this year for some reason. But I think based on what I've seen, the results so far, I think the Pirates are going to go down. I think Swansea are a bit too strong, and we'll get the win against them.
There you go.
We'll see. The Pirates were in a similar situation 2 seasons ago when their first season in the Prem South, and they pulled it out the bag and sent the Hertfordshire Hurricanes out. So it was like I remember it was the last game of the season or last couple of games. They got the results they needed. So I can't recall the exact thing. I should really do some research, shouldn't I? But yeah, I can remember them, like everyone sort of like, well, me included, like writing them off, and then they just they did a U-turn. So you can't count the Pirates out. I'm just saying, if I was putting my money on one, I'd be putting it on Swansea to stay up.
So who we haven't got scores for is Essex Blades versus ARU Rhinos, the York St John Jaguars versus the Glasgow Uni Tigers, and the UWS Pyros and the Heriot Watt Wolverines. Hopefully we should have them for the Pyros and the Wolverines, considering that game was an 11 a.m. kickoff.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I've seen it somewhere as well. So I'm gonna go through and have a look at our. I'm just gonna have a look at our. No, I can't see it there. I'm fairly sure I've seen it somewhere, but I can't find anything now, which is annoying. I wonder if it was on Twitter. No, I can't see anything.
Oh, so in fact, Heriot Watt Wolverines versus the UWS Pyros, Scottish weather, game cancelled.
Because it cancelled, was it?
Certainly was.
How do you know that?
On the Heriot Watt Wolverines Instagram.
Oh man, I'm getting annoyed about Instagram now. I need to make sure, because we've got a new Instagram account that we use just for this show, and I need to follow all the teams. That's a mistake by me today, not making sure we follow all the teams. Harriet. Oh, that's where I saw it. they tagged me in something on the main account. I got it on my phone. Harriet, what?
But I can tell you now that I can't, for Instagram's worth, I see nothing on the York St John or Glasgow Uni. So that is one game that we have got.
So we did all right for the rest of them then.
We've honestly, mate, we've missed out on 2 if we can't find the Rhinos score.
What was the the Rhino score?
Essex Blades, ARU Rhinos.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll do us, won't it?
I'm happy with it.
Cool. Well, before we go off, I just want to remind everyone and explain to everyone that this is our last game day live on a Sunday for Uniball for now, and we're going to be moving to a new format where it's still live, but it will be Tebb and most likely Dom, if he's available. We haven't run it by him yet. On a Monday evening, time to be confirmed, but we'll start that next week. So we'll look forward to that. We'll still do this, like the post on Facebook and the score post and everything. So all the admin stuff I'll take care of. We just don't do a live stream to it because we don't get the scores that well, as you can see. And we're left just sort of chewing the fat and having a bit of a laugh, which is cool, but it's not, we want to add value to the game, not just we're not just like some weird radio station that just
talking about Steve's tacos, unbelievable stuff.
My Mexican food, So, but thanks for tuning in, guys, and Tebb, over to you to wrap it up, mate.
So, before we go, I will just run through the scores that we have, and I'll tell you who's been cancelled and who hasn't. In the Borders 1, Hull Sharks Newcastle Raiders game has been postponed. In the Prem North, Stirling Klansmen lose to Leeds Becketts 14-24. Leeds Griffins versus the Durham Saints called off due to the weather. In the Prem South, Cardiff Cobras lost to the Birmingham Lions 12-27. UE Bullets dominate the Titans, the Swansea Titans, that is, 72-0. In the Borders 1, Edinburgh Predators versus the York Centurions game was called off. Same with this Sheffield Sabres and the Manchester Tyrants. However, in the Northern one, we've got a game, and that was the Derby Braves 28, LJMU Fury 14. In the Midlands one, the Nottingham Trent Renegades beat the Leicester Longhorns 48-0, while Loughborough Uni beat the Coventry Jets 34-2. In the Southwest one, the Bath Killer Bees versus the Southampton Stags called off frozen pitch. The Reading Knights lose to the dominating SGS Pride 76-0, while the Bristol Barracudas lose to the Exeter Demons 6-11. Southern 1, Sussex Saxons 14, Hertfordshire Hurricanes 15, Portsmouth Destroyers 13, Surrey Stingers 0, and that was a game called off at half-time due to injury. We've not got one for Essex Blades or the ARU Rhinos. However, in the Southeastern one, the Imperial Immortals beat the Brunel Burners 12-6. Now in Borders 2, the only game that we've got from there is the Teesside Cougars 0, Edinburgh Napier Knights 46. Now in the Northern 2, MMU versus Edgehill and Bradford Bears versus the U-Clan Rams, both called off due to weather, but the Lancaster Bombers versus Bangor Mud Dogs. Is this confirmed? Is it 80? Steve?
I haven't got it confirmed. I was just looking. We think 72 is the correct score. So
the Lancaster Bombers, we're not sure, but the Lancaster Bombers definitely beat the Bangor Mud Dogs either by 72, 74 or 80. We're not entirely sure. There was a walkover in Midlands 2 with the Staffordshire Stallions getting a 1-0 victory over the Chester Legion. In the Southwestern 1, the Bath Spa Bulldogs lose to the Plymouth Bits 8-16. While the Solent Redhawks lose to the UE Bullets 2s 14-18. In the Southern 2, the Chichester Spitfires lose to the Panthers 6-23, while the Silverbacks versus the UCL Emperors were called off because someone else was playing on the pitch. Sort out your pitches. Unbelievable stuff. And last, but by no means least, the KCL Regents beat the Cambridge Pythons 34-30. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is a nice round number from me, from Steve, from Gridiron Hub. We will see you all next week. No, we won't. We'll see you on Monday please tune in to the as yet to be named Uniball post game show where me and Dom, hopefully Dom, maybe other people will bring people in. We'll go through all the scores. We'll talk about it. We won't talk about Steve Sarkos. It'll be a good
Glasgow
time.
38, YSJ 0.
Perfect. Glasgow Uni 38, York St John 0. And with that, I will see you another day on a Monday. Woo.
Woo.
Oh yeah, I was going to leave it like that. Why are you letting me? Why are you talking about it?
I thought you'd hit the button to say end broadcast.
I did, but it takes a while for it to register, doesn't it?
That's I'll do it, shall I? Do you want to do your woo again?
Yeah. Tell me when.
Just whenever you're ready.